Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't have like the sound machine for all the applause. We're just gonna go.
Don DeMarco.
We got Lucho, so
That's all y'all motherfuckers need is your fucking weekly dose of some fucking lucha. You feel me?
yeah.
Damn.
So it
Do you
turns
hear
out,
something in the background?
yeah. Did you hear it?
I heard something for a minute.
Because you know why? Turns
Why?
out I forgot that I had opened up my YouTube channel on Safari on my browser on a different tab, and
Oh,
like
so
so
both were
I
one was
was
playing in the
watching
background.
it. Yeah, I was watching it and doing the podcast here. So, yeah. I don't know where everybody else is, but it's okay.
It's not okay.
Two's a party.
Y'all better pull the fuck up.
We can,
Shoot.
me and Lucho are good for right now. Like, come
I mean,
on.
we can
We
hold down
can hold it down for sure.
can hold down the fort for a
We
fortnight.
most definitely can. So what's up? How's your week been? It's been
My week fucking sucks. If I'm gonna keep it a buck, I just gotta keep it a buck. My week sucks.
Why does your week suck?
Man, I just been fucking. I just hate having a fucking job. I'm not used to people telling me what to do.
Yeah,
So
that is shitty.
It's a weird transition to be back into the workforce because usually it's like I dictate my own time and what it is I do with it. And now it's like, you got to be here at 7 a.m. Oh, we need somebody to stay overtime. You can go take your lunch now. I'm like, bitch, last time I checked, this is California, and I'm supposed to take my shit before my 5th hour. So when I'm like 5 minutes into my 5th hour, I'm taking that shit. You're not going to wait half an hour and then tell me to take my shit. It's like, nah, bro. It's not how this shit works out. I'll hit up the California Board of Labor. Like, okay.
You know what, though? Like, when I worked in HR, I think it's 6 hours, but employers tell you 5 hours because they get penalized when they get audited.
Yeah.
If the employees go past the 6-hour mark, and a lot of times shit like that happens where you're definitely going past the 5-hour mark.
Well, you know what? I'm finna call me an adjudicator to come out. Fuck it. I'll call the goddamn ombudsman. Have that motherfucker come out. Elderly abuse was set.
Elderly abuse.
Shit. I ain't no young whippersnapper no more. I'm the elderly.
You're fucking some guy in the 40s in the comments like, no, not quite. Not quite.
All right, last time I checked, I got 2 slip discs in my back. I've had knee surgery. I have low sensitivity in my hands. So I got nerve damage. Motherfucker, I got PTSD.
So your body's old.
I got a bunch of fake teeth. I met all the check marks for. I'm on medication. I check all the fucking boxes for being.
He's
elderly.
Old in the body. Gotcha. I feel like I have 2 kids, and even though I am 37 years old, I think each kid adds 10 years. So I think really I'm 57. Yeah. That's how I see it. People in their 50s laugh at me when I say shit like that.
Yeah.
They're like, bitch, please.
Well, yeah, because like we got a lot of older people older dudes, like contractors who come around my work and shit. And I remember one day I squatted down to like lift this rack, and I was like, when I got up, I was like, oh, my back. And he was like, he looks at my coworker and he was like, what, your back? And he's like, you don't know nothing about that, youngin'. And, he looks at my coworker, it's like, he don't know nothing about this. And I look at him and I was like, I'm older than he is. What are you talking about? He's like, oh.
Well, you look super young.
Yeah.
Hashtag Latino genes.
Got that Benjamin Buttons disease. The older I get, the younger I look.
I feel like the older I've gotten, the better I look too. Like, I don't know why. I think I look younger now than I did 10 years ago.
See, I had this sweet spot, and it was honestly what it was is when I was on drugs, I was just glowing. And now that I'm sober, it's just
glowing.
Like, I was glowing when I was in.
I feel like everybody that I see that's on drugs looks old as shit.
See, they ain't doing them right though. They ain't
There's
doing
a
them right.
right way.
They ain't doing them right.
Oh, man.
Uh,
I don't know what the right way is because I do not partake. But I don't know. Even like so when I was in college, I was 10 years older than everybody in my cohorts. Like
uh-huh. Oh, and
they were all like
a group
21,
of your
22.
cohorts, a group of
My
killer whales?
cohort, yeah. uh well, for my program, right? So like
Uh-huh.
you do like your gen ed shit and then you transfer to a university. If like me, I transferred. I started at the community college and then I transferred to U of O.
Mhm.
And that's where you do your like,
Oh, that's right, you went to school
your
in Oregon.
right. And that's when you do your like actual major, like focusing on that. And then everybody in my cohort was like 21 years old
Mhm.
and then 22 and I was 31, 32. Like I had two kids, like I had these girls, like they looked older. They look older than me. And I don't know. Maybe it's like from staying up late and partying and shit.
Did you
Like,
party a lot in high school? Like
um,
drinking?
no, I mean, I
See,
did
that's
party, but
that's
I didn't do that a whole
but that's
lot.
what it is right there, is these kids are fucking smoking cigarettes and fucking
They were
drinking
smoking
in middle
cigarettes,
school.
weed.
That's when they start, you know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
shit all ages you. It
Well, and
ages you.
sun damage. Like a lot of
Yeah.
them were white and they
Mhm.
like frequented the tanning beds,
Ugh,
like,
gross.
and so I feel like they looked older
Look
than
like a
me.
bunch of old wrinkly burlap sacks.
Yeah, well, some of them had like really deep lines like in their
Uh-huh.
foreheads and like I didn't. I still don't. And
Mhm.
so like I don't know. That was just my truth. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, my mom looks younger than me though. So,
Does she?
yeah, my grandma has like 3 wrinkles.
Yeah.
No Botox, none of that shit. They just look better than I do. But they have more melanin in their skin than I do. So,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's probably what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I have like when I'm when the melanin that's in my skin actually sees the sun, I get pretty dark, but for the
Mhm.
most part I just look pasty now because
Yeah,
I'm never in the sun anymore.
yeah, I'm never in the sun anymore. And the older I get and the less I'm in it, like
Mhm.
cuz I work from home now and I'm never outside, um I'm more sensitive to it. Like I burn now.
I don't ever really burn. Last time I had a sunburn, I don't know, I can't really remember. But
My ginger ass burns.
even like
So,
if I get a sunburn, like it doesn't fucking hurt, and it's not like I don't think I've ever had like a really bad sunburn where I was
oh,
like,
I have.
oh, ah,
I have.
never. I mean, I
I
didn't
okay,
see you.
so what happened was when I was 15, we moved to Oregon for a year and a half when I was
Mhm,
15. Lived up there, didn't see the sun for a year and a half, right?
mhm,
Came back down to here, went to the beach thinking like I still had it the way I had it before because I was Mexican, my skin tans, all this shit. Like I'm just used to it, right?
mhm.
I fell asleep on the beach
Oh, no.
and I
Were you on
was
your stomach or on your back?
I turned, so it was both sides. Um
Ooh, she got
yeah.
flapjacked, y'all.
I was purple. I had blisters, literally blisters
Oh, so you
all
got like a
over
first
my
degree burn.
I was fucked up. That shit got me. And for a week, like my skin was so tight, like my limbs were just bent kinda,
Mhm,
and like I couldn't really walk. I couldn't like sit down to use a bathroom. Like
mhm,
I was fucked up.
mm,
Had a really good tan afterwards, but
yeah.
I was fucked up,
Once
dude,
that
never
skin starts to
again.
peel and the melanin starts popping out, you're like, "It was worth it."
Hashtag worth it. Yeah,
It
no,
was worth it.
it was bad. I was blistered like a motherfucker, like really, really fucking burnt. I can't believe it. And, like, now I have freckles all over my body, so that's fun. I
Was it just
am
from that one instance?
Well, okay, so yeah, like when I get sunburned, I get freckles. So I
Right.
didn't have freckles on my face until like 4th grade, and I got like a gnarly sunburn on my face. So now I have like freckles like all over my face. And then that happens to my body, and now like my legs and my arms have freckles. Like now when I go out and I get any kind of sun, I just get more freckles.
Well,
But I am a ginger, so
freckles look nice on people.
well, they're in style now, but, like, growing up and having that shit, and that
Uh-huh.
shit wasn't in style, it wasn't a trend, people weren't, like, putting makeup freckles on themselves or henna freckles or tattooed freckles. We got made fun of for that shit.
Yeah, but you're also like a little kid, so, like, little kids aren't supposed to be
We
sexy,
got
you know what I mean?
fun ma but nah, but this was, like, even later, like, as a teen, like, all this shit,
See,
like
when people talk shit about that, that's when you just let them hands go. Start chunking him with people.
Yeah, well, after
Start,
eighteen,
Burger
I
King parking
stopped
lot.
letting
Just
hands go.
fucking start
Burger King
fight.
parking lot, that bitch got it. She got it. She had the wrong one that day.
When was the last time you had a fist fight? Like, you really just, like, chunked it with someone?
That that I got to make contact with? Like, yeah,
Yeah, either
18.
8 damn, you haven't had a fight in, like,
Yeah.
17 years?
Well, okay, so when I got pregnant when I was 21 with my daughter. So, at that point, I was like, "I'm not gonna risk going to jail." Right? Like,
Right.
I was not gonna risk going to jail just to
Uh-huh.
fucking fight a bitch. Like, that's stupid to me. Um, Even though 2 years ago, I was in a bar
Mhm.
and it was super packed, right? Super fucking packed. Like, you're like this through
Sardines.
people, right? And well, 2.5 years ago. And there's this chick whose boyfriend's got his arms like this, and she's in the middle, so, like, nobody touches Princess, right?
Uh-huh.
And they go to the dance floor where, like, me and my friends are already there, and we're, like, dancing and shit, and, like but as well as you can without like, you're bumping into people because 'cause you're
Yeah.
it's and she's, like, going off on the guy that we're with, like, about him bumping her and blah, 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 like, trying to get her boyfriend to, like, beat him up, and, like,
I hate that shit.
I hate that shit too. And so I see this beam, like, behind her, one of those, like, wooden things, because she's kinda close to the bar, but not, and I go to, like, because I wanted to, like, just push her head into it, right?
Mhm.
And someone grabbed my arm and, like, pulled it back, one of the people we were with, and we left. So I think that that saved me from getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But she was fucking pissing me off. Like, I had, a little word exchange, and I'm just, like, mad, and I'm just wanted to give it a little tap.
Just give her
Just give
just
it a
smush
little
her.
just
Just
give it a
smush
little
her. Yeah.
cock her head back a little bit, knock some sense into her.
That open palm slap.
Yeah, no, no, I was just gonna grab her right here, let the Lord fucking bless her, just pop.
Fucking baptize her right quick.
Yeah. And I didn't, thank God, because
Yeah.
obviously that's
Some
not the
restraint.
answer. Yeah. And, when you go from being somebody, when you're 16 who's not afraid to fucking throw down, right? And and that's how you solved your problems, which it didn't really solve anything. Sometimes it did, whatever. It proved a point, but it didn't really solve anything.
Right. On a primal level,
Right.
it proved a point.
Right.
I'm far more superior than you are.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not gonna say that shit again, are you, bitch? No. So then you have to like do a lot of work,
Yeah.
like within yourself to so that when you are this age, where I'm at 20 years later, that like like I am not going to jail. I will
Yeah.
not kick your ass. Like if I accidentally knock you out, like I'm gonna fucking go to jail. Like if you
Yeah.
hit your head and your fucking neck cracks the wrong way, like oops, I killed you over some
Or
dumb
even if
shit.
you give them one hit or
Right.
quitter, then their head bounces off the ground and they're brain
Right.
dead.
Right. Like, it's
Involuntary manslaughter. You're going to
right.
fucking prison.
Not worth it to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather and see, I used to be a verbal assaulter, and I say used to, like, very loosely, because I've got a really, really, really good verbal assault game.
Sharp
Um,
tongue.
yeah, it's pretty strong. But I'm also at the age where I'm not proud of that shit either, because, like, I have been in situations where I didn't have to physically fight somebody because the verbal assault got them good.
Mhm.
Like, and at the time, I was mad proud of that shit, right? Like, that was like, I was like, who's next? Who
Mic
wants
drop.
the fucking smoke?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, fuck, like, maybe they need therapy. Like, maybe I need therapy. Maybe I'm a shitty fucking person because I didn't
Right. Well,
have
I
to
mean,
do them like that.
everybody on the planet needs therapy. But I mean,
Right.
sometimes it's like, hey, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, yes, but, like,
My theory on this is like at some point in everyone's life, you gotta get punched in the fucking face.
right.
Everybody needs to get punched. I don't care who the fuck you are. If you're 80 years old, you've never been punched in the face before, you got that coming. Like on
Yeah.
some real shit. I've always I wouldn't say pride myself. Yeah, I'll say I pride myself. I pride myself on just being a pretty good shit talker and like, what's up?
Hi.
Being a pretty good shit talker. And I've as I've aged, because I had to pay for all my teeth now. So like
Yeah.
now when it's like I'm like, do I really want to cash out another $5,000 for 2 teeth? Like if I get knocked out right now?
No.
But at the same time, it's like I don't the whole backing down, like I don't back down. I just can't
Right.
do it.
Me
There's
neither.
something that doesn't click in my mind where it's like this isn't the smart thing. The only time when that does happen is if I'm with people, like if I'm like on a date or like if I'm like with my girl or like I'm with my
Yeah.
nephews or something or with my sister in public.
Yeah, that
It's
makes
like
sense.
let's diffuse and let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But when I'm just solo or like I'm with me and my boys and like it's or I'm like in a controlled environment and someone just fucking starts stepping, like, nah, it's fucking ugly. I don't give a fuck. I've gotten my ass beat plenty of times. I don't give a fuck if the person
Right.
like can probably fucking kill me with their bare hands. Someone who's like, I've gotten into fights with dudes who are like 6'7", fucking. I just don't give a fuck because I
Yeah.
don't. At the end of the day, it's like I don't give a fuck about my life. I don't give a fuck about life. I don't give a fuck about the planet. I don't give a fuck about. I mean, just all I care about is the people I love and my dog. My
Yeah.
life means nothing. So at the end of the day, it's like I just don't give a fuck. But
Yeah.
now that I'm like back in the workforce, it's like I can't just start fucking putazo with fucking people in the fucking work. So that's why then this when a little sharp tongue comes out, and I just knock these people out with my words, just make them look
Yeah.
stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, so, like I told you, like, I've done a lot of work to not be that,
Right.
like, because the verbal assault, I know I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can fight, like, I know I got it. And most of the time I won't do it. Now, where all of that work disappears like this is if the person is some kind of a threat to someone I love or care about that's around me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you said, you won't do it if you're on a date.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go fucking mama bear, fucking wolf, like on someone real fucking quick.
But you're also a mother, you know what I mean?
If they're threatening or saying some shit to people who I love, like, you're not gonna talk shit to like say if she's with me and some bitch is like being stupid. If it was me, I'd be like, nah, we're good. Like, I'm not even gonna waste my time on this bitch, right? But if she's doing that to my cousin, okay, bitch, like, I will fucking go crazy.
Now we got a problem.
Yeah, now I'm fucking
fact.
16. You tapped into her. What's up? I went like this to 16-year-old me. She got in the ring. What's up?
Right.
Like, that's it.
Well, so there was one instance where like me and my ex, we had like went out to eat, and I'm super PTSD paranoid. So like I see everything coming like a mile away. So like as like we paid our check and I see this guy staring at us from across the dining room, and I was like, fuck is this motherfucker looking at? So we get up and we leave. And like when I open up the doors to walk out the building, I see him like get up and he starts coming towards us. And I was like, I'm like, all right, relax, bro. Maybe he's going to go take a piss or something. I got my arm around her. We're walking through the parking lot. I turn around and I see him, and he's like clearly like making a beeline straight towards us. And I'm like, oh no, well, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's not good. So like I bring her in a little closer, and we're still walking, and like I just like glance over my shoulder, and I see him like go put his arm out to her, and I just fucking snap. I like shove her out of the way, and I'm like, what's up, motherfucker? I was like, what you want? And he's like, whoa. And then my girlfriend's like, oh, hi. She fucking knew the guy from church.
Oh my god.
And he was like, oh, he was about to tag me. And I was like, the fuck is going on?
My god.
And he's like an older guy. He's like in his 40s, 50s. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? And she goes, oh, this is so-and-so from church. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because my heart is like pumping. Because I'm like, it's somebody's about to die right now. And if it surely ain't finna be her, and if it surely ain't finna be me.
Yeah.
I ain't finna die in no parking lot. That's like the worst place to die. It's dirty as fuck.
Yeah. It's like basically a gutter.
I
right?
feel like a public bathroom or a porta potty might beat that.
Oh.
Okay, now here's public bathroom story. So we're in Santa Barbara. My ex used to go to UCSB, so we go party at these really skanky ass fucking bars and clubs. So there's this place called Wildcat, aka the Shitty Kitty. And like we're in there and we're like waiting for my girl and her girl. They got to use the bathroom, so we're like standing outside this bathroom door for like 15 fucking 20 minutes or something like that. And my girl, she's only like 5'2", and she's like El Salvadorian, so they don't grow above 5'5". So fucking she's like, she has to go piss. We pre-gamed, so she's like tipsy as fuck and has to pee. And her homegirls, they got to pee too. And her homegirls are white girls, and they're fucking tall. They're like 5'9", 6 foot, 6'2".
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, the bathroom door opens, and you see these tall ass blonde chicks. Like they're taller than me. I'm 5'9" on a good day. Okay. So like, so they fucking
on man ruler you're 5'9", or real rulers. On man rulers you're 5'9", or on real rulers.
On a good day means when I got shoes on.
Okay.
So 5'8" on a good day, 5'9". On a really good day, when I feel like tiptoeing around these hoes, I'm fucking 5'10" on some real shit.
Oh my god!
I've had guys tell me they're 5'10", and then I see them in person, and they're like
right,
and they're like,
and you're taller than me.
We're like eye to
eye, yeah.
Ass looking them in his eye.
Yeah, right. I've been taller than a couple, and they're like, I'm 5'8". I'm like, bitch, I'm pushing 5'5", barely. Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, so like these fucking Amazonian chicks fucking walk out of this bathroom, and then I mean it's a club, the college kids, everybody's fucking drunk. So like, and keep in mind, we're not the only ones waiting to use the bathroom. There's like a line of women who need to use this bathroom. So these bitches come out, and clearly they were in there doing fucking coke in this nasty ass bathroom. And then then like they come out like this, like they're the fucking Kardashians, like a hella snob, like with their noses up in the air. And like the bitch lady comes in the bathroom, she's like, oh my god, this place sucks. And like all these bitches are like, fucking fine. I don't know, bitches talking shit. I don't listen to that. So they're talking shit, and then next thing I know is like the girl, like, because my girlfriend at the time, she had a fucking big ass mouth when she got alcohol in her. So she says something, and this fucking chick like walks, like gets all up on her. And me, like, especially when I'm drinking, there's definitely no fuse whatsoever. It's a button. It's on and off.
Yeah.
And me, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck if anybody's a physical threat. I don't care if you're a fucking man or a woman. I'm gonna put fucking hands on you. Like, simple as that. I'm not gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna deter the situation and nullify it. So she just comes up, and I was like, nah. I just fucking push this bitch up against the wall. She's coked out, so she didn't really feel it. And then she like tries, she has this shocked look. It's a split second of shock, and then it goes into I'm about to fucking slice you up. And I was like, you don't want to fucking do that. I don't give a fuck. So I literally just grab her fucking hands and I fucking slam her up against the wall. And then all these other women are like, you can't put your hands on a girl. And I was like,
Did.
I was like, I just did. Okay. And first of all, if this bitch was beating your ass, I'd fucking, you want me to just watch? I can watch.
Yeah.
And the bitch wasn't fucking talking to me. She was talking to y'all.
Yeah.
I'm trying, you feel me? And then I ended up getting fucking kicked out, but it was whatever. Fuck Santa Barbara.
Fuck Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I got stabbed at a gas station in Vallejo one time.
Well, damn.
Some fucking this chick, she was like easily like 6'3". My buddy Chip, he's like 6.
By a chick?
A chick. This lady.
A chick stabbed you.
Yeah, I don't know if she was like,
What?
I'm pretty sure she was homeless, mentally ill, and or also on drugs at the time.
All of the above.
So she like runs up on me and she's like asking me for money. She don't look like she's homeless though, but she's clearly off the shits and she's asking me for money. And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm like on drugs driving back from San Jose. I stopped to get gas before I get home. And she's like running up on me, asking me for money. And I'm like, I don't got cash. I don't carry cash. Like, I got a card. I'm about to get some gas. And she's tried to like white boy me. She was like, yo, white boys got money. Da, da, da. And I was like, first of all, bitch, that white boy shit don't work on me. You for surely got the fucking wrong one. This girl pulls out a fucking scalpel, like a surgical scalpel, like
what?
Dead ass scalpel. And this bitch starts fucking swinging at me with it. And I was like, oh, fuck no. I just fucking draw back, gave her a switch kick to the head, and she fucking went out. But she fucking stabbed me in my fucking leg. And
oh my God.
I'll send you the picture still. You can pop it up because it looks kind of cool actually. So I have this tattoo on my right leg. It's like an atom, and it turns into a double helix that like eventually like turns into a stream like up the mountain into clouds. But if you look at it from the top down, it's like clouds and a mountain into a river to a double helix back to an atom. And so she like sliced me right through the atom. And like I got really good skin because I don't scar or anything. And I
was gonna ask, did it fuck your tattoo up?
It kind of made it look cooler, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Send it to me and I'll.
Well, I don't have the healed picture, but I have the bloody picture. This is pretty.
Oh, wait, does it look cool bloody or does it look cool healed or both?
I think it looks cool, kind of as both. I think blood is cool. You know what I mean? I think blood is dope. Or am I just being gross?
I don't know. I think it depends. Blood stinks. That's for damn sure. Like I remember my ex
stinks.
It stinks. Like my ex got stabbed. So, I mean, the shitty petty ass bitch in me says, well, if he wasn't there at that time, then that shit wouldn't have happened.
Was he somewhere that he wasn't supposed to be?
So this motherfucker, you know him. And
R?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a couple of them are. That's a
oh yeah, but the first
popular letter in my fucking catalog.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
So we were supposed to go to have a date. We were supposed to go to dinner and a movie and shit. And his job, he was always on call. So that's true, right? He literally he hit up my best friend because I wasn't home and we didn't have cell phones back then. That wasn't like the thing.
When was this?
2001.
Fuck.
Yeah, this was that long ago. 2001, 2002, something like that.
Still. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. No. It was 2003 because we were 18 already. Okay, so 2003, he hits up my best friend while I'm out at dinner with my dad and my brother. She lived in the same complex as me, so he knew I'd get the message. And as I'm driving home from this restaurant with my dad and my brother, we're on Melrose. There's a Jack in the Box there.
This is in Southern California?
This is in Vista, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He had a white Mustang GT at the time, which was very distinct because not a lot of cars had what he had, which was like these black stripes at the time. It was still like a newer car, right? And it had the black stripes. It looked like, a great white shark. That's what we called it. And I see him and his homie Danny. I don't know if Danny's listening right now. He was on my live earlier. I saw you, motherfuckers.
Peeping.
They were coming out of the Jack in the Box drive-thru as I'm in my dad's expedition with my dad and my brother, and I'm sitting in the back seat, which I never really did, but I did, and windows are tinted, whatever. And we drive right past him, and I see him, and I'm like, oh shit, like him and Danny, like there they go, you know, like where are they going? And I get home and put my stuff down, and then I walk over to my best friend's apartment, and she goes, oh, R just called, and he said that he just got called into work, like he's not going to be able to go out with you tonight, like he said to call him. And so I called him because he had like his work phone, right?
Was that the one that was like walkie-talkie?
Yeah, remember those Motorola's?
Yeah,
a cell phone and a walkie-talkie.
I remember that.
So I hollered at him, and I just got on the phone and let him lie to me, right? I was like, hey, like Edie said you can't, like we can't, like you gotta work. He's like, oh yeah, like I just got called to a flood. It's in Mira Mesa. It's gonna be like an all-night thing, you know, like blah blah blah. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's weird because I just saw you and Danny leaving fucking Jack in the Box right now. And he's like, I'm on my way home. And I was like, you motherfucker, like you literally just got caught fucking lying to me. Well, that was one of the times I've caught him lying in this. So the night that he got stabbed,
this fool lied to go to Jack in the Box.
He lied to go out with his homies.
She just caught him at Jack in the Box.
I just caught him. And so then another time happened where
I can't talk shit. I've done that before.
Right. And
so all the same. You're all the same.
We're all same. All human beings are the same in different ways.
No,
I would lie, be like, I'm going to the studio all night. Go to the studio for like 2 hours and then spend the rest of it like drinking with the homies just because I had to get away. Wasn't cheating, just had to get away.
Yeah, no,
just say it.
Women do the same shit. I need a
night out with my guys.
Women do the same shit. Like, I'm gonna stay home. No, you stay home and you fucking watch your shit and you fucking, pamper yourself and you talk shit with your girls.
But we're not out lying.
We're not out lying. We're staying home and we're staying home.
Out at my homie's house. Also, I was technically still at home.
Then just say that.
Okay.
Nah, because then every time I did that, anytime I chose to hang out with my friends, it became an issue.
Some chicks get mad about it. Yeah,
then you're dating the wrong ones.
Yeah.
I've never dated the right ones.
Clearly. Me neither.
Cheers.
I didn't even marry the right one.
Are you guys drinking?
Yeah. Yeah, is that okay with you? Does that bother you?
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Oh, are you sober?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
And I'm like, grab drink.
If I was there, it might have been a problem.
Okay, cranberry juice.
So then
what
one
is that?
night,
Pistol? You sipping on some pistol? It looks like wine. Yeah,
it's wine.
Oh, okay.
Some vino.
Oh, you got the white wine.
So I got the white wine.
Nice. I miss
so then
wine.
Another time, after that, he was supposed to go out with me and didn't, and so I was like, okay, whatever. And I was at my mom's house at the time, and I slept on her couch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a call at 4:00 in the morning from his best friend, Danny. And he's like, you need to come down here, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know where he is. He got stabbed, like, blah, 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 right? So I'm hysterical because, the place to go when we were 18, 19 years old was TJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where we went to party. Like, Revolution was the fucking spot. All the clubs are there, like everything. Everybody went to TJ to party. I did it all the time with him.
Tijuana.
Tijuana. Okay, yeah.
And so we were always there. I didn't go that night. And so I drive down there. He actually was at the Otay port of entry. His car was at this gas station, and I show up there, and it's covered in blood on the inside. He had leather seats, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he was stabbed in 3 places and tried to drive away. And sometimes that like the blood comes out and like pulsates,
squirted out.
Oh! Yeah, it was all over the inside of his car. His car reeked. It was so disgusting. So like when I said this is all relevant because we were talking about how blood smells.
Blood stinks. Yeah.
Where was he stabbed?
In the side here, one in the back, and then I think like one kind of in the front.
Was there organs or anything hit?
No, thankfully nothing. It got really close to his lung. Like it like, and it
in
went
his diaphragm.
Yeah, it was like in this. Yeah,
that shit hurt.
And then taking care of him was a bitch. I think the relationship ended right after that because
when did the blood, was it like right after the stabbing, or was it or some time had passed after?
It was a couple of hours later.
So what it is the plasma starts separating from the blood. That's what that smell is.
It was gross.
Yeah, because at first it's not really a smell per se, or like it's not odorless, but there's not like necessarily like a funky odor. But like it's when after exposure to air, when the plasma starts to separate from blood, that shit smells.
Ew, I never knew that.
If you let blood sit like outside for a while, it eventually turns yellow because the plasma separates from the blood.
Ew.
The actual red blood cells.
I've donated plasma before.
The actual red blood cells turn black, and then the plasma starts to turn yellow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
it is yellow. Even when they I don't know if any of you have donated your plasma.
Yeah.
I have.
Plasma, yeah.
And when you see it separate, it does look yellowish.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Bodies are super weird.
Interesting.
Facts.
Oh, let me see if I got that picture from you.
Penny, can you fucking stop?
How's your week,
damn it.
Sonia? What are we cheersing to? What are you celebrating?
Woo! Divorce as fuck.
She has a sash on.
Did you take half a shit?
Extra.
No, I don't want shit from him. I want it to be over. I'm like, I don't want nothing. Just fucking get me out of that. That's all I want. Get me out of this marriage.
How long was the process?
It wasn't that long. It takes a minimum of 6 months in California, and that's how long it took. So
okay, that's cool.
Thank God.
If you don't want nothing, otherwise it'll take longer.
I was just like clean. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't want nothing. You don't want nothing. Like, let's just break.
You guys do split custody or?
We don't have kids.
Oh no.
No kids.
See, there you go.
No kids, no property, nothing. Just my dog. I got the dog. He got the cat, and that's it. So.
Sounds like a win-win.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really clean cut, Lucho. Jesus.
It was a scalpel. She cut me with a. So it went through my pants, through my basketball shorts, through my boxers.
Oh my God.
And right through my skin. So if I didn't have
thigh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right above my knee. So like if I didn't have and I had like jeans I had. I don't know if you remember Jabot jeans. Like they're it's a super thick jean like material. And I mean it went straight through that shit. But if I didn't have anything, it would have cut me down into my muscle because it was a surgical scalpel.
Jesus.
I don't know where the fuck she got it from, but it was sharp as fuck. And then like the guy on the guy who worked at Chevron, I shouldn't have said, oh, whatever, fucking the guy who worked at the Chevron, he had the surveillance footage because the police, I was bleeding everywhere. That is like, that's like at the hospital after they got it cleaned up and it stopped like bleeding profusely. And I was like, wait, I want to get a picture of this. And they're like, okay. So I just got like a quick snapshot of it real quick.
Oh my God.
It's like super clean and it like goes like slices right through the atom. Like, and it's pretty cool.
So I have the picture. Let's check it out.
Will you stop barking? Oh shit.
Oh
my God.
See how clean it is?
Like you see it's a very clean cut.
Yeah.
You can see like almost the layers in there.
Well, if you see like you'll see like 2 white stripes right there.
Yeah.
That's the actual ligaments.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
little tiny tendons.
It's like lasagna.
Super clean.
Oh my God.
Ugh,
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go this one now.
I was mostly pissed she ruined my fucking pants.
Were they expensive? Is that when you were wearing all the bougie stuff?
No, I mean $100 pants. I mean, and like Jabots at the time, and like Jabots were early 2000s was when like Jabots were popping in the Bay Area. Me, I'm a retro motherfucker, so like I had that pair of pants since high school, And so like it was more like the, you know,
like nostalgic ones.
Well, I just like to take care of my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like outside forces fucked my pants up because like I could have got them hemmed, but they got covered and soaked in blood, and it's just fucking
Yeah, that shit stains.
yeah.
Oh,
And my
no.
favorite
As a
basketball
woman,
short.
I know how blood stains.
Right.
change.
Yes, we do. That's why I only wear black.
Yes. It's fucking crazy. There's been times like this is mad embarrassing. Where like you're out and you don't even know that shit's happening, and like you go to use the restroom and you're like, oh, like oh my god, what? Like nobody. Thank God nobody saw, or maybe they did see and didn't tell me. Like that is so fucking humiliating.
It's the worst. And when you're not prepared and all of a sudden you're out and you're like, oh, like you feel it and you have to run to the bathroom and you don't have shit. You have to use like toilet paper and
like wad up toilet paper.
Oh my god.
Put it on your hoo-ha.
Oh.
Fucking be like, yeah, I gotta go. Or like,
I'll be back.
you know, you're in the bathroom. You're literally asking every fucking female that walks in there, like, hey, got a tampon? Hey, got a tampon? Hey, got a tampon? None of these bitches have tampons.
I never do.
I don't either. I never have them, but I always think that somebody should. I don't carry a purse though. I'm not like a purse chick. I just carry my
carry
wallet.
a first aid kit in my trunk of my car.
Do you have tampons in there?
I got gauze, same shit.
Yeah,
I'm
fucking taking that too.
Yeah, I would take anything.
Good idea. That's a good idea. If that ever happens to me again, I'm going to ask the like waiters or employees for a fucking first aid kit.
They hand you a Band-Aid.
I'm all taping my fucking vagina shut.
Like,
with like the butterfly Band-Aid.
I want that thick ass because there's most
the
standard
roll
like,
of gauze that comes in the thing.
No, they'll have like a gauze pad. So like if you have like a puncture wound or a laceration, it'll be a thick gauze. Most first aid kits will have at least 2 of them in there, and you just peel it open. It looks like a pad basically, and you literally just press it on there.
That's what we need. Just to
what I
seal
need
the
for
vagine.
And I believe it has like some type of powdered coagulant in the core of it.
No,
so
I
it's
don't want
supposed
a
to like
powdered coagulant. I don't want a yeast infection. I just want the blood not to get on my fucking pants.
I know.
Shit.
They're all over my chonies.
Yeah. You know, that shit happens to women for every little fucking reason. I don't want no coagulation. Give me a whole ass fucking infection when I was just trying to stop the blood. That's bullshit.
Right.
Well, now they got all different. They have like stuff like Diva Cup and stuff like that.
So it's
like
so weird. I don't think I would ever like one of those. Like you have to like dump it out. Like, sick.
Clean
Clean
it out.
Yeah, they gotta wash it in your sink.
Most of them is like it's like a antimicrobial like material that's like made out of. So they're actually pretty sterile and clean to use, but you have to like clean them. You know what I mean? After each use. From the girls women I've dated who use it, they all swear by it.
Yeah.
They put a gauze pad on their pussy?
No, a Diva cup.
The cup.
Oh, the Diva cup.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
You like put it
you
like put it in your vagina and like it rests around the cervix so when you fucking bleed,
I've been
it stops
super curious about that. But like my issue is how did they fucking that's too
put it in there?
Big to like I don't want to. This is why this is like a speculum.
No. You fold what you do is you fold it.
So how do you get it out? You have to like go in there and grab it, right?
Pull it out over the toilet because everything will come out.
Yeah, I know.
And you're supposed to do something with your finger and like pull it out so it like kind of unsuctions from your cervix.
Wait,
and then like pull it out.
You're putting 3 fingers in yourself like this to get that shit out?
Usually like in the beginning you fold it like you fold it.
Fold it to put it in.
You put it in and then you let go and then you just push it in.
Okay, to pull it out though.
There's a tip on there
that you pull.
You usually just use 2 fingers. You just pinch it and it breaks the seal and you pull it out.
You see how wide this is right here?
That ain't that wide.
I feel like it's really wide. Like that would fucking hurt me.
You gave birth twice, Stella.
I know, but I have a sensitive
I feel like when my vagina's like bleeding, it's very like open.
Yeah,
like I can like it's a little bit like open. I don't know. Like I can just like slide up a fucking tampon like Jumbo. They just slide on it when I'm fucking hemorrhaging, you know. But usually I don't wear tampons when I'm hemorrhaging. But
yeah, I don't.
I don't wear tampons anymore actually. But
I don't either, except my daughter took all the pads last time, so I had to. We lost like 10
yeah.
listeners just talking about periods right now. It's all dudes. It's all fucking dudes.
They're like, fuck this bloody conversation.
Yeah.
I had to hear about that shit all the time growing up. It was so whatever.
Here's the thing. Like,
I grew up in a house full of women. I was the only man.
I think every fucking man should, because like then you meet dudes like my ex who like think it's weird that women shit.
Oh God.
And it's
really?
like, how
It's a
old are
child.
you? How
Yeah,
old
it's a
are
child.
you? Like, I have, you literally fuck me doggy style. You see my asshole. What do you think that's there for?
Yeah.
Decoration?
Keith
Like-
said, I got an urge for a jelly donut.
Those are my favorite, actually.
Those are my favorite too. Those are so
I love
good.
jelly donuts. They're the fucking bomb. I always like stick my tongue in it too. I'm like, ugh.
You gotta get it in there.
I prefer the
you have
cream
to.
filled. A little custard in there.
Yeah,
Smack
those
with
are
some-
bomb too.
With some fucking coffee. Or just some fucking
Bomb.
pan dulce with some fucking coffee.
Conchas
Oh,
are my
Yeah.
favorite. I love
oh
them.
I'm getting
Favorite
some
bomb.
tomorrow. Fucking smack.
You gotta send me a picture again, like you did the tacos.
Huh?
You gotta send me a picture again, like you did the tacos.
They ain't gonna be around that long. I'm gonna tell you that.
Motherfucker, don't
almost
act
did-
fucking
I-
brand new.
I almost didn't fucking take a picture of the tacos if I keep it a buck.
But you did, didn't you?
Yeah, because I
So,
said I
si
said I
se
would. But
puede.
I'm not making no
Si
promises
se
tomorrow.
puede.
Oh shit. And the thing about them is like they could be like 6 days old, and if you just make a cup of coffee, still smacking. Just fucking dip that shit in there. Just,
I don't know about 6 days, but a couple days, yeah.
oh, a week, 7 days
They're
max.
all hard.
I don't give a-
I know.
Yeah,
it's like
that's-
a fucking rock.
I'd fucking wait sometimes. I'd wait a couple days because they'd be like super hard and like they absorb better when you dip them in coffee. I just fucking dip that shit. Oh, smacking. One thing I don't like though is fucking Bimbo products. Them are fucking
yeah.
trash.
Yeah, no.
That's trash.
You know what's good is getting like a warm bolillo and then dipping it in like the chocolate de abuelita.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Well, I don't like Abuelita's hot the like name brand. The name. Well, it's,
Do you like the Ibarra one?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abuelita's hot chocolate is kind of trash.
I like
Like-
both.
I always thought it was weird how it like grows skin on top when it's just sitting there.
Skin. How it like, yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
the dry, like.
That shit always was like
Yeah.
mad weird
you
to
gotta
me.
keep
I was
it,
like, the fuck?
moving.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be my
Super
favorite
weird.
part. Just fucking
Nah,
No.
that shit
No,
is
no.
disgusting to
Yeah, I don't
me.
like that party there.
get some gachos and fucking dip that shit in. Wrap it around like skin.
He's off.
Ew.
Like fucking like, huh?
Shit.
Oh, I got a new
No.
tattoo, guys.
Oh yeah, look at
No,
that.
you can't see
Oh,
it.
nice.
It's
Wait,
like
what is
super
that? Is that a-
shiny right now.
that a
Well, I have
person?
the Aquaphor on it. Oh, you can't
Oh
see it.
yeah.
It's a. I'll send you a picture, Lucho. You can't really see it here, but it's
Is it a
a,
person
it's
or
a
an
Native
angel?
American. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but yeah,
An Aztec warrior.
my Aztec princess.
The Aztec princesa.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's cute. Spec says he's on his way to his studio. I don't know if
Spec-
he's gonna hop on here or what. What?
He's an hour late.
Trent
He's an
Davis
hour late
said,
to the party.
Valley Joe, that's where my family's from. I respect it. Oh, I didn't even know there's like this whole fucking chat on the site over here.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
read it.
Is
You
this
gotta
on like
read
every
it.
episode this has been here?
Yeah, every
Yeah.
episode. That's
Wow.
how
why
we
I'm always
interact.
distracted.
If anybody's ever said anything to me and I didn't respond, my bad.
So Earl, talking about our stab story, he said he got stabbed near the eye. Gosh darn asshole couldn't
Couldn't
even blind him.
me. What a
Failed
failed attempt.
attempt.
Tried to fight him another time and he pussed
Pussed
out
out
hardcore.
hardcore.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Damn.
Also, Lucho, he's part of the 5'9 club.
Let's go. What's up? Anything
he loves
over-
your laugh.
all that 6 foot shit is overrated. Y'all dealing with some motherfuckers
It's
who got
not
a bag of
overrated,
rocks
though.
for brain.
It's not overrated though.
It is. What's the point of being that tall? A motherfucker like me dust your ass. What's the fucking
What's
point?
Here's the thing. I think it is a waste of 6 feet tall when you're a piece of shit.
And y'all motherfuckers don't live as long as
Yes.
us. Y'all motherfuckers are too big for your
That's
hearts.
true. It's like big dogs, right?
fuck?
They don't live as long as the little ones.
They
Even
got
though
like
I've-
knee problems.
Even though
Yeah,
I've
all
abused
the
my body,
problems.
I abused my body for years. I'm still finna live longer than you.
So
You sucker.
stupid. 5'3", gang.
Hey, at least you ain't 5 foot. You
Right.
That's
feel me?
how tall my daughter is.
What?
Whatever.
She's like 5'3".
I
Well, she's
stopped
still
growing in
growing,
8th
too.
grade.
Yeah, I stopped growing in like 8th grade too. I remember, you know how in elementary school and school, like when you take your class pictures, like all the tall people went on the top row,
Yeah.
and then the second, all the way to the short people at the bottom. I think it was 6th grade. I was on the top row with like all the tall people. And I don't know how the fuck that happened. I didn't think I was tall.
Uh-huh.
And I ain't been on the top row since.
Oh my God.
Like I was on the top row then, and
They
I
fucking
think I stopped
misplaced
growing
you on
then.
some like Kevin McAllister shit. Put you
No,
up on
because
the
You
fucking
were like
tall row.
long though, I feel like.
when I was in 6th grade, because I was that height already, the doctor thought I was going to be like 5'7", 5'8". But I think I just stopped growing then. Cause like even like all my friends were like here. Like they were all shorter than me. And
See, doctors don't know shit though. I remember being a
how
kid.
can you predict how tall someone is?
It's
Like,
based
you
on your
can't.
it's usually based on the bones in your feet. So fucking yeah. So like I remember because I got like lengthy ass
small feet.
toes. So like the doctor, like when I was young, he's like, "Oh, you're probably gonna be around 6 foot tall," and I was like, "Okay, I don't give a fuck." And he was like, "No, it's good to be tall." And I was like, he's like, "You could be a sperm donor," and I was like, "The fuck?"
Oh, you
Dope.
can't be a sperm donor if you're not 6 feet tall?
No, you have to be 5'10".
What?
Yeah,
That's,
you have to be.
that's
You
a
have to be.
lie.
Look it up. You have to be.
What?
You have to be 5'10". You have to
No
weigh a
wonder
certain
dudes
amount.
are so mad when
You
you
have
give them shit
to-
about being not tall.
Well, yeah, it's because
Well,
you're
you
not worthy
couldn't-
enough.
You
But
couldn't
I mean,
be a
that's
sperm
women.
donor if
Women
you were
are
a ginger either.
well. Women are the ones who set that standard. Most women don't want to have a ginger child and or a child who's going to be under 6 foot
That's
tall.
true.
So they don't
and
want.
shame on you, ladies, because I'm dope as fuck.
Just the more unfair shit that society pushes on people. But
Right.
that's why I say fuck all this shit. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, honestly, like not every guy I've dated is 5 or 6 feet tall and above. Like, am I more visually attracted to a man who's taller? Like, yes. Like my eyes are drawn to it,
Well,
just
that's
like men are drawn to tits and ass.
It's an instinctual thing. So
Right.
women are drawn to somebody who can
He's gonna
physically be
protect
protective.
me.
Men are
Right.
drawn to somebody that's going to be able to reproduce the most amount of children.
Right.
And fucking, but I mean, that's in all aspects of life. Like we try to act like we're such an advanced like society and this, this meritocracy that we have, especially in this country. But like at the end of the day, we're all just a bunch of fucking walking, talking, hairless apes. Like in Hollywood, you can't even be a leading man in Hollywood unless you're at least 6 foot. Like,
There's no way that's true. Like
look
Tom
at Kit,
Cruise
look
is
at
like
Kit Harington.
5'6".
Kit Harington, when he played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, he got shit for 8 years about being 5'4".
Yeah, but
or
that's
5'5".
motherfucking Jon Snow. Who has
Oh my
the
God, I
last
love
laugh?
him.
Well, they made him wear. They made him wear.
Yeah, they make all the short guys do that, and then
and everything.
Yeah, and they have them stand on shit for those like scenes where they're eye to eye with a chick.
That's what I'm saying. So the perception of leading men to the viewer is you have to be a certain height,
right?
And then it's usually the shorter people. They're the passive comedic role. They're never the leading man. They're the funny person that you joke about. Look at Kevin Hart.
They have the better personality though. So like I am more attracted to a taller man. But if you see me walking around with a guy who's 5'9", no, he's funny and he's got good credit.
Right.
And mind your fucking business. Okay.
And the dick is good too. Okay.
All right. Let's talk credit score.
There.
What's your guys' credit score?
Which one are you looking at?
Both of y'all.
No, but like which one?
Your main credit score. So like not Just pick the highest one out of the 3 credit scores.
It's in the 700s.
So that's mine.
Okay, for sure.
What? You're gonna talk shit?
I know.
I mean, mine's.
I can't talk about a man's credit score if mine's not a certain point.
I'm sitting comfortably at 821 right now. So
Good job.
Mine was higher.
You know, that's how I bought a boat.
Yeah, that's true. Mine was higher, and then like Christmas happened, so I'm still recovering from that.
Yeah.
Which I don't like to typically spend money I don't have, but
same.
Here we are.
I don't know what she's doing over there, but she's fucking something up.
Peen?
Yeah, she's fucking pissed off because I'm fucking ignoring her. And that's not how you get attention, okay? Fuck.
And yet you're giving it to her.
I know.
Works every time.
Works every time. You men are suckers. Too easy. Too easy.
It's so annoying because like this morning she's like bugging me. She's bugging me. I'm like sleeping in. Like,
were you off today?
Yeah. So nice. I have Thursdays off, and like usually like because I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. So like if I get to sleep in, I'm sleeping the fuck in. I'll sleep until 1 p.m. I don't give a fuck. I used to be up until 3 in the morning and not wake up until 1 p.m. So my body's acclimated to not only that, but like genetically speaking, I'm like a guardian. So like I'm supposed to be up all night and like watch over the tribe at nighttime. Like I've always been like that. I'm not a day person.
I'm a night owl.
I'm totally up all fucking night. I could stay up 24 hours, but I still can't go to sleep until the sun comes back up.
What?
It's fucking. I've always been like that. Like I used to be scared to sleep at night because I was just always had this innate fear that something bad was going to happen to like my mom or my sisters. So I'd just be up all fucking night.
You think it's like a past life thing? Like something happened in a past life and you remember?
I don't believe in past life shit.
You don't?
It's a tribal thing. It has to do with native peoples. And like when a tribe went to sleep, there was guardians that would be up throughout the night watching the tribe. Like that's what people don't realize is like even today, America is not some fucking safe haven. We have coyotes, fucking mountain lions, poisonous snakes, poisonous insects. Like so like when I see stories about like these fucking like these fucking like Renaissance people who are like, I'm fucking going on a hike today in this brand new I'm like, and then they get attacked by a mountain lion and they're like, where the fuck do you think you live on planet Earth, motherfucker? Like there is no safe place on this planet. Right. You know what I mean? Like you're on a fucking rock hurling through the unknown universe. Like shut the fuck up. So like me like having like this fear of sleeping at night, I feel is totally justified because one of the most bad shit happen at fucking nighttime. Also, like we've had home invasion robberies, like held at gunpoint, fucking false imprisonment, like all types of shit as a kid. So like I'm PTSD
traumatized.
Fuck out. Yeah. So like me, like I don't like sleeping at night, and like I will wake. I could relapse right now, do a bunch of heroin, and will still wake up in 3 hours because I can't stay asleep.
I'm just like a night owl. I always have been. And like, no matter how early and how much shit I do during the day, it's still really hard for me to go to bed early. And it's hard for me to get up early. Like, I'm not a morning person. I don't get my energy till like the afternoon, to be honest.
I'm like,
and
exactly.
Like I've just always been this way. I wish it wasn't so. Like I've always wanted to be one of those morning people so bad because I'm like, oh, they're probably like hella productive, right? But like I'm hella productive in the afternoon and the evening, and it don't matter. Like I'm tired as fuck. I could have gone to sleep today at like 4 p.m., but I still won't go to bed till like 1.
I'm most productive when the sun goes down. That's when I'm like, all right, let's get it. Let's do something. Yeah. Like when in the morning time, I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, only reason we got to wake up this early is because of farmers. Like, granted, they're already getting fucked by our government, but go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just like,
I got to be at school at 8 a.m. The fuck? I didn't mentally wake up till 11 a.m. when I was in fucking high school. Like, why you're wasting the first 4 hours of school for me? Like, I ain't learning shit.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't.
I learned more at night school than I fucking did in the fucking day. I mean, that's why I had to go to night school in the first place. But fuck.
I never went to night school.
I did not either.
No,
I just stopped going to school.
I graduated when I was supposed to.
I dropped
senior,
out.
did you get
But
your
I
GED?
graduated college. I did. I got my GED like
Uh-huh.
right before I went to college because I knew I needed that shit.
Right. I'd spent like 16 hours in school every day, like my senior year, because I wasn't on track to graduate.
16 hours?
Yep. So in the morning was cyber high. So from 7 a.m. to 8:30, I was on the computer doing cyber high in the library. And then from 8:30
How old
to
are you, Lucha?
30.
Oh, okay.
And then from class of 2009. So from
That's when I had my son.
and then from 3:30 to what was it 3:30 to 6 was cyber high again, and then after that from 6:30 to 9:30 at night was night school. So every day from 7 to 9:30 every day my senior year I was at school.
Jeez,
on track to graduate, and nobody thought I was going to graduate. I didn't learn how to fucking read until my freshman year of high school. So like the California school system completely fucking failed me. And I was
How
like,
did you pass?
I went to school
No,
for
but
16 hours a day.
But like,
how'd you get to ninth
Yeah,
grade?
how'd you get there? Like, how'd you pass? Like
The
middle
California
school,
school system failed
So they
me.
just kept
hold on, let me
pushing
finish.
you forward.
Yes, there's a law called No Child Left Behind.
Yeah,
so whether
yeah.
you were, they passed you no matter what. If you got all D's, they still passed you. I got
pushed
D.
you forward in the next
Yeah, they
grade,
just push you forward. They didn't hold back students anymore. So I got, I didn't learn, my whole time in school, I didn't never fucking learn anything. I had teachers that knew I couldn't fucking read, and like I fucking ignored me in class. Like,
Did your parents ever read to you?
No.
No.
Tell me to like read the Bible, and like I'm not reading that shit. Fuck up out of here.
I always read with my daughter. She started reading when she was 2.
That's good though. That's good. Like, and before they're even like, once a child can like recognize symbols and shit like that, that's when you should start. As early as like 3 years old, you should start teaching them how to read. Because you're giving them a huge advantage in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's
a huge reader now. She has been her entire life. She started when she was 2. Now she's a high schooler who before school goes to the school library and literally reads and checks out books from her school library.
See, there you go.
I never did that shit. I never, ever, not once checked out a book from a library at any of my schools.
So I started doing that my junior year of high school. Because I always, me growing up as a kid, I was like, if you're a smart kid, you're a fucking pussy. Like being smart is for fucking, because I wasn't around academia. I wasn't around kids who got, accolades for their academic adventures. Like
I was a straight A student.
I thought all that, I thought that shit was, using language from 2005, I thought that shit was hella gay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, it frustrates me now because who knows where I could have been if I actually like tried growing. But I mean, like the school system.
I tell myself that too.
But that's one of the problems with the public school system. It's anything the government provides people is horse shit. Okay, we have the laziest fucking people in fucking office who just don't give a fuck. Honestly, don't give a fuck about their jobs and/or don't give a fuck about the citizens they're supposed to represent, and that's across the fucking board on both parties. And I mean, like, because I mean, I'm pretty fucking smart. I'm never gonna be like I'm smarter than this person, because majority of the time, they're usually the stupid person in the room who claims their their level of intelligence. But I'm smarter than most people. I noticed that because I'll talk about stuff and people have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about. But that used to be me. People would talk about shit and I was like, I was like, what the fuck is an adjective or a noun? I don't know what the fuck that shit is. You know what I mean? I didn't know what grammatical errors were.
It was like your curiosity is what drove you.
Yes. Well, I got caught up my freshman year. Like my teacher was like, you don't know how to fucking read, do you? And I was just like, I know how to read. I just think that's just for pussies. And it's like, nah. She was like, nah, you don't know how to read. So she like took the time to like sit with me and like learn shit. And the first book that I ever read was Of Mice and Men. And
that was one of those classics. My daughter read that book already. Yeah.
It's only like 96 pages, but it took me like 3 months to read because
John Steinbeck was a very dark writer.
I'd have to read a page over and over again because I'm not like dyslexic, but it's hard for me to. I don't learn by. I'm a visual learner, so like if you tell me some shit, it goes in here and then out that way. But if I see you do it in front of me, I'm like fucking. I'm like a fax machine. Like I copy that it goes in my memory bank, and like I can't get rid of it. I got so much stuff. That's why I like learning new shit. I'm like, I don't know, because I become a psycho, and I'm just like, it just runs through my mind all day. And so as soon as I read Mice and Men, I was like, fuck. I was like, I gotta read another book. Then I read Catcher in the Rye, and I was like, fuck, this kid is me. This fucking young fucking whippersnapper who's like, fuck the world. Like, I'm gonna do this shit on my own. And like, he's this child, but he's living this adult life. And
was it your teacher suggesting to you what to read next? I was like, because these are all like classics.
Yeah.
And
like
school books. Yeah.
And then The Color Purple and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Kill a Mockingbird.
And then I started. Then I turned that over to like reading more about history, because that was the only subject in school I was always good at, was history. Because most of the time it's your teacher up there fucking talking and you're just listening, and they're just telling these stories. And so like I just started fucking reading anything I fucking could. Ancient civilizations, fucking the rise of the European Union, and fucking all this bullshit that I thought was stupid as fuck, and just started learning it. And then I started straying from what was required in academia to shit that's not talked about in academia. And then I started reading fucking all this like experimental shit. You know, not to be on my Jimmy shit, but then also started reading about like conspiracy theories and how some people's minds are wired to search for conspiracies. But I mean, it's not in a sense that it's what it is. It's the curiosity of human beings that sparks the yearning of conspiracies. Because at the end of the day, fucking like that word exists for a reason. And when you look at history, most big placates in history were conspiracies, people conspiring either in secret groups or conspiring between dividing lines. Because I've always been like kind of like conspiracy theory. I remember being 5 years old. This is a 5-year-old's thought right here, breaking it down. At 5 years old, I believed that tire companies were working with the state because the roads were always be fucked up. So I was like, oh, they don't fix these potholes in the street because they work with the tire companies. And the more potholes that there are to fuck up vehicles, the more tires that get sold. Like 5 years old, I thought that shit. That's how smart. That's how my brain worked when I was 5. Never read a fucking word in a book. And like, that's what I was thinking.
I feel like when you're a kid, you think like that, like not as like to that degree, like, oh, the government is in bed with tire companies and with Michelin, right?
Well, here's the thing: is there are people who, whether it be Toyo, all these tire companies, there actually was a tire company in Texas who is trying to prevent them from passing laws to repave streets because they were giving backdoor payments to the fucking people.
I'm not saying it's not far-fetched, but I'm saying as a child, I think children have that like accusatory like demeanor though, because like we're used to being like lied to, and like we catch parents and shit and lies. And so like you just stop trusting motherfuckers.
They thought they were fucking slick, and it's like,
right.
I was born not yesterday
for conspiracy theorists, because now kids are like, no, you don't want me to have this because of this, this, and this, even though you said this, like, you know. But like the first time I ever even like entertained a real conspiracy was 9/11. Because I was 16 when that happened. And like when I lived in my uncle's, like we were staying with my uncle, and he didn't have cable. So actually the first time that I saw footage from 9/11 was like 6 months later.
Oh, you didn't watch it live?
I did not watch it live. My mom was at work. She called me, and I remember waking up and to her phone call saying somebody, like planes were crashed into the World Trade Centers. And at 16 years old, I had no fucking clue what the World Trade Centers were. I'm like, what's that? And she's like, they're these like really big buildings in fucking New York City. And I was like,
I remember watching the footage, and I was like, hey, that was in the movie Men in Black.
Oh my God.
So like I saw that, and then when I finally saw it, everything like hit me. Like that shit, like I would see it imprinted on the newspaper and stuff, but like the weight of those weren't there without actually seeing the footage. And then when I saw the footage, I like lost it.
It was like devastating.
It was. And then I turned 17 not too long after that. And then I remember your brother went to sign up for the Navy. And I went with him. And I was going to, like, we were trying to get the recruiters to make our contract be so that we stayed together. And obviously they're going to tell us, yeah, even if they're not fucking doing it, right? Because once we sign the contract, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I didn't end up signing it, and he did. And he went to the Navy, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But, like, it was all because of, like, 9/11. And then, like, what the military does in, you know, like, poor families, right? They promise you all the things. Like, you're going to get paid, you're going to have these benefits, you're going to get free college, like all these things, right? That was the appeal for me. But that was the first time that I was ever like aware of like that shit. So but I think it all starts with when you're a kid and you're fucking lied to by your parents. Then you just don't be believing shit.
Yeah.
What's up, Spec?
What up?
Better
Spec
late than
in
never.
The house.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Facts.
That's what my stepson always told me when I would tell him to stop doing reckless shit.
How old was he?
He was a fucking smart ass teenager and young adult. He's almost 26 now, so.
That's so crazy. What the hell?
I know. I can't believe it.
He was like in elementary school when I met him.
He was 9 when I met him, and now he's about to be 26.
Sounds like that's some shit I would have said when I was 9.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, like, you need to get down from there or chill out. Like, oh, you're going to get hurt. He's like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I remember,
fuck out of here.
I remember when I was like 10 years old, like anytime somebody would like steer me from like doing something, I'd be like, what am I going to do? Ambitions as a writer. They were like, what? I was like, ambitions as a writer. I'm a writer. I got ambitions.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
So what's going on? What's popping? Tell me something good. Tell me something new. What are we doing?
Let's see. What have we discussed so far? We've discussed
talked about period blood, conspiracy theories.
I knew she was divorced as fuck. I saw that. I heard you beat up some girls at a club.
Oh, he was listening. Good. Good. Well, you know.
And I'm the all-seeing ear, man. You know what I mean? I'm always listening to something.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right? I just heard abuse. I heard a little coke abuse going on.
There's always coke abuse when Lucho was talking.
Salvadorian girls and cocaine.
Fuck yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Facts.
So that's the recap. That's the rundown. If there's any little speck sprinkles you want to throw on top.
How has your week been?
My week's been that's my week been. That's a good question. It's gone by so quick that I haven't really thought about it. It's been cool. I did a couple photo shoots. I've been working on my projects, just getting my vinyl shit together, life stuff, taking care of my dog, stacking up my paper, staying out of people's way, staying out of people's business.
There you go.
I mean, all the shit that I do to, to level up. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a good week.
I tap in, but I don't know. I'll be very
It sounds like a productive week.
Off the
I
grid.
know.
I'll be off the grid. I like money way more than people. So
Facts.
yeah,
People
like,
suck.
I don't
People
really,
do suck.
a lot of times, like when I hear people like, man, I'm struggling, I'm fucking da da da, but then they're mad social. I'm like, that's probably why you're struggling. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
like because you just
Yeah.
you're not using your time wisely and shit. Like, and then I look at it from like I was behind the eight ball. I was like in college, fucking with warrants and fucking getting in all sorts of trouble, and people were at home chilling. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? How y'all wasting so much time? So for me, like, time is like, like I said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, because shit to do. Like, and I don't want to take up anybody's time with my shit.
Time is the
Yeah.
most valuable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Time
Mhm.
is more valuable than fucking anything.
I was talking about that with my boss earlier because I was like, hey, yeah, like I'm around, like I'm home, I'm not doing anything. So if like you need me to hop on and do some shit, like I got you, you know? And I was like, I don't really be out like that. Like I'm not into it. Like there's like some people like that I'm like friends with and shit. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are out almost every single day of the week. Like, what are you fucking celebrating?
Yeah.
What are you celebrating? Like, what are you doing? And you like renting a fucking apartment or a bedroom in an apartment and like you're out all the time doing shit and like I just I don't understand, like I can't do that. And even if like you could afford it, whatever, like to me I'm just like I need my time by my fucking self, like reading, working on myself, mindlessly scrolling for, a decompression or whatever the fuck. Like, I just don't want to be around people like that all the fucking time. Like, it's just not appealing to me,
Right.
I think it's the reverse for me. Like, I don't like being around people because, like, I have a powerful energy and I bring everybody up and I have a spirit and like motherfuckers are like, yo, what's up? Like, are the rooms down? And then I come in and it's like, yo, what's good? We lit, we cry, what's popping? So there's value in that because motherfuckers bring you down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not my energy. So I'm very protective of like who I fuck with because it's like, yo, I'm gonna make your life better. Like straight up. Like I'm very confident about that shit. Like I'm not gonna fuck your life off. I'm not gonna fuck you up. I'm not gonna do some shit to make you resent me. I'm gonna level
Mhm.
up. I'm gonna give you good energy. I'm gonna talk to you about tangible shit. I'm gonna be a dope ass friend. So like, yeah, there comes a value with that shit. Don't play with me or my time. Don't treat
Yeah,
me like
not everybody has that. Not everybody has that.
For
I
sure.
don't I
Like
don't need to decompress because I'm not stressed out. Like I don't believe in it.
sometimes I do shit.
Y'all know I don't believe in the word stress at all. I think that shit is like a super social construct, and that's just something to distract you from your fears. But for me, it's just like again, I'm in a good space in my life, and I think more people are so into complaining or talking about others that shit is a drain. Like I don't want to hear you
Yeah.
complain about somebody all day. Like, what are we doing to get some bread? Like, what are we giving our kids with some value, some assets? Like, what's popping? Like, you know what I mean? You talk to me for an hour, you don't even smile. What the fuck I'm around you for, bro? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so all that shit's important. That's shit that I keep a tab on, because I don't want to judge you, but I don't want to also be hindered by you either.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's why I try not to that's why one of the things why I try not to complain about shit is because like I have a where I'm at in life right now, I have a keen opportunity to be as selfish as I possibly can. I don't have any kids. I barely even have any family. And like the same thing like what Spec said is like people are they're fucking soul snatchers.
Mhm.
A lot of people bring you around because you are the vibe, you are the wave, you're the one who brings the positive energy, and a lot of times people don't reciprocate that and they just fucking drain you. And
Mhm.
or you get
1000%.
other people, they physically want something from you. They want to be around you for your accolades, for your fucking money, because you got a good dick game, like anything. You know what I mean? Or a lot of times it's a status thing too.
I know this person, I'm cool with them, so like that makes my life have more value. So I'm like, bro,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, no.
Putting value in somebody else's place in the world and fucking comparing it to your own and being like, well, this person's doing this, so I'm on too, and this is who I kick it with, and like I just got to the point where like I don't fucking kick it with anybody anymore. Like
Mm.
at the end of the day, like what's the fucking point? Like, and like I mean, to not to quote fucking a movie like I always do, but in A Bronx Tale, like when C fucking tells when Collusional gets told by Sonny that nobody fucking cares. At the end of the day, nobody fucking cares. You're gonna die. Your life is gonna be over. Their life is gonna go on. At some point, they might even fucking forget that you ever existed.
That
And
part.
so what's the fucking time is the most valuable fucking resource that is not renewable in this life.
Can't
so
be bought.
No, you can't. So I'm not gonna fucking waste my time with, especially on people. Like of all things, waste my time on people. Like no,
Well,
I'd rather waste my time on like trying to achieve something or experience something new,
I think that's
or
wasting your
fucking
time.
or break ground. But like wasting my time on people is like, yeah, that's so useless.
well, that's why like today for at work during a call they were talking about it's like because there's a lot of people who externally source value, like so like hanging out with people and then trying to get like people's opinion, like people to tell you or show you how valuable you are. Like you don't see it in yourself, you don't do the things for yourself, but like someone's opinion of you or how they treat you or all these things, people allow that to dictate how they see themselves and how they value themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
because we live in a society where value comes from like the market and like supply and demand, and but that doesn't apply with people. You are the one who set your own value. You know what I mean?
but a lot of people don't see it that way.
They don't. Well, I mean, we live in this fucking
People are used to working for somebody else, so their value
yeah,
is attributed to how somebody else makes them feel.
right.
Right.
If
Well, from an early age too, like telling your kids good job all the time is one of the worst things you can do to them. Like from the fucking jump, you know, like you're supposed to like what is it, the positive reinforcement on like effort and like the like other things, not like the what you think the result is or whatever.
Well, it's not so much telling them good job. It's when a child does something that the parent wants them to do, and then you
That
oh, that's a good
approves,
job.
yeah.
Not when the child does something that the child wants to do.
That
You know
fills
what I
their
mean?
cup. Exactly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
There's a lot
that's the bad side of that. Because like there was plenty of times where like I wanted to be adventurous, a child, and be bold and fucking try something new, but my parents didn't like that. So I got no positive affirmation from that. But if I did something they wanted me to do, that's when I was their son. That's when I was a good boy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yep.
because parents make robots, they don't make people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and you get and I'm not sure how old you are. I don't want you to put your age on blast if you don't want to, but I just think for a lot of people who grew up with parents that were born between 1950 and 1968 or so, um, they all have a certain ideology when it comes to controlling with their kids
Obedience.
Yeah.
because there was a very it was like a very weird time where there was a lot of corporal punishment, and then there was like this new identity of like behavioral therapy and understanding kids and learning how to cope and talk to them and certain things. So you have people that were on the fence with that, where it's like, I'll beat your ass, but I'll talk to you after. Then you have like my parents that was like, you're gonna get 2 in a row and we ain't talking shit. Like you know, which like made me way worse because I was like, bruh, like I'm gonna just get beat for doing the shit I'm doing. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand. You're fucking creating a monster right now.
And that
Or
turned
there's no dialogue on like why you're mad at me. I'm just getting beat and I don't understand it.
but that's what a lot of like I know for a lot of dudes and girls my age for particularly they dealt with a lot of that, like a lot of their parents like being drunk or abusive, and that was just a normalized thing. Like, yo, my dad would like fuck me up in front of my homies.
Yeah.
My homies would be like, yo, your dad is fucking nuts. I was like, you tell him.
Look.
Yeah, because he was just another, but that was his experience. Like my dad didn't grow up with his dad, and like he was a very like protective dude to my grandma, to his sisters and shit. So like with men, there was that like resentment. And I think with me, I look like my dad. I idolized my dad. Like I followed him around all sorts of shit. So I think with me, like after certain things in our relationship kind of changed, there was like that resentment that was built because I was like, yo, like I'm not listening to that. You know, we all have that as kids. Like we have that parent that we kind of clash with and conflict with. But I think for him, because the approach that he had with like corporal punishment and whatnot wasn't working as much, like he felt he was losing me a lot faster. And just to kind of end this, like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, my dad was like, we're talking to him in his room. My daughter's playing on his bed. We're just talking. And I said something about not regretting anything. And he was like, nah, you should regret stuff. And I was like, fuck regret. Like that shit's whack as hell. Like nobody
Mm-hmm.
no shit. Like, you know, just
Right.
the ego ass bullshit. Like, you know, and
Yeah.
then he was like, nah, I regret a lot. I regret not being there for you in high school, like working all the time. You just fucking wilding out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because I was wilding out in high school. Like, you know, that's a whole episode itself. But those kind of things, like I think our parents, like as a certain age, our elders, they kind of start reflecting and recollecting certain things that either may push, you know, that have pushed their kids or like certain loved ones away, or have created some sort of distance where they can't get past it, like some sort of impasse. So they're trying to figure out in their own minds, like, yo, I'm getting older in life. How do I connect with this person before I die? Or they just tap
Mm-hmm.
into this, like, I'm fucking stubborn and I don't give a fuck. So it's just,
Mm-hmm.
and I think for him in that space, it was one of those, like, how do I like keep you? How do I, you know, connect with you now as an adult, you know? So
Right. Also, like the concept of like adulthood is like I've always kind of thought of it as like a farce because we're all just fucking kids who just get old. And you have these a lot of times you have kids raising kids and then kids raising
Mm-hmm.
kids raising kids.
Mhm.
And like what the fuck is adulthood? Is it like is it a line in the sand that you eventually cross and like I'm an adult now? Like I think it's more like a spiritual and mental thing what adulthood is. And some people never achieve that. I
Well,
I I see people who are in their 80s who are just fucking old ass fucking kids who are just fucking running a fucking muck. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, the shit that sucks though is like, so I feel like I had kids really young, right? I was 22 when I had my daughter. I was 24 when I had my son. And biologically, on a physical level, that's like the best time for me to have a kid, right? But like mentally, you're not fucking mature enough. Like I definitely wasn't
You weren't
at
even done with
22 and
puberty.
24, huh?
I say you weren't even done with puberty yet.
You know, like I was still, there's a lot of shit I didn't know. I didn't know who the fuck I was yet. I didn't even know, I wasn't even self aware enough to like understand how my experience in life up until that point affected me and how like and how to not transfer that shit onto my children, right? Like I hadn't even unlearned the shit that I didn't want to push forward, right? Like the
Right.
cycles that I wanted to break.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's shitty because women, you know, like when we start our period to like we're, you know, our 30s, like that's your prime time to like have your child, right? Like if I were try to get pregnant right now at 37, like that's high risk. Like but I'm in a better place mentally now and in a place that I wish I was, you know, 15 years ago when I had my daughter. Like you that's the shitty fucking part, right? Especially for women. Like and we, you know, typically like in general women mature faster than boys, right? Like we are
They
thinking
say,
of huh? That's what they say,
hey,
right?
yeah.
I don't think it obviously all, but like so where was I going with this?
I hate to interrupt. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Where was I going with this? What were we talking about?
Maturity and how kids mature at different stages.
Yeah, I don't and like
How women mature.
unfortunately we're not in the most mature space mentally when we are in the prime space physically to reproduce,
Right.
you know?
I think
But
that's what like one of the things that makes, not to cut you off, but to
yeah,
add
no,
to,
no.
I think one of the things that's interesting about China is that they actually like don't allow you as a person to have a kid until you're 27. So you actually go through all three formative stages of puberty, and at 25, and now, you know what I mean? You actually have a couple of years to be established and to now create a family. And you only have a certain period of time to create a family. But that's also interesting because of they had to do that because of population control, because there's so many people there that they actually create a system in order to keep the resources aligned. You know what I mean? But
interesting.
I think conceptually, if that model was like kind of approached across the world with obviously like sex education teaching, and the fact that puberty isn't taught, puberty is only taught in like 2 stages. They don't teach you about the last stage where your bones are forming and how it's forming around your brain, and how if certain traumas are fucking still not identified and your brain is like locking to your brain, that you will never escape those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't teach you that. You have to go into like deeper psychology classes and like be big into like, you know, development classes to understand those things about your body. And those are lessons I feel like kids should learn earlier. You know what I mean? As opposed to fucking social studies and certain things.
My son still hasn't even learned the basics of like, I remember being in 5th grade.
5th grade.
They like pulled us to different rooms, girls and boys. And like you learned about your reproductive systems and this, that, and the other, and each other's, right? My son still hasn't even had that.
What?
And he's in 7th grade.
They don't do that anymore?
No,
but COVID happened.
But even in 5th grade.
He was in 5th grade. COVID happened.
Oh, yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But
I forgot.
I also think, too, because this might open up a can of worms. Fuck it, I'm here for it.
It's 1000% my responsibility, I feel like. But
yeah, for sure. But working in the educational space now, you know, and being a teacher for the last decade, fucking pretty much, I've noticed a big changing of the guard when it comes to how we teach our kids in educational spaces, and also with the access of certain sexual platforms. And I also too the inclusion of like every kid is this, every kid should make this decision is also a big problem in how development works. Now, for me personally, I'm just going to give my personal feelings. Like anyone out there, if you feel differently, I respect it. But I have daughters. My daughters are girls. That's not what they identify with. That's literally physically what they are, what they were born as.
Yeah, their sex.
You know what I mean? So I think that there's this I don't want to say movement because then it sounds weird, but I think that there's this process that's happening now with a lot of parenting that are either trans or demi or pan or whatever pronoun that they choose to be, that are now forcing this agenda on kids that don't have parents like that, like are mine, that are saying, hey, like, you got to go to a gender neutral bathroom or you're fucked up. You have to fucking tell every kid that they have the choice to be whatever they are or you're fucked up. Eliminating my chance or my space to actually parent my kid and teach my kid sexual identity, sexual responsibility, sexual behavior, sexual fucking flamboyance, clairvoyance, whatever I want to teach my kid, because of this narrative from other parents that feel unsafe about behaviors that are pushed as an agenda to make it allowable for every kid to just make every decision. So now, if that's the case, why is child pornography looked at so fucking badly? Because it's damaging, you know what I mean? But if we're allowing our kids at 7 years old to say, hey, like, I'm a transgender kid now, and that's safe. It's not safe. Like, there should be some learning when you have kids that are dealing with puberty, that are dealing with adolescence, that are dealing with peers, that are dealing with judgments, critiques, and other energies. If you really want a safe space, you have to teach your kids all sorts of other things, and not that everything's okay. Some things may not be okay for you, and that's okay too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may not like fucking boys your whole life, and that's fine. But at 7 years old, my daughter doesn't have to learn that in 2nd grade, or we're fucked up parents because we don't sign this waiver. You know what I'm saying? And this is stuff that I have to explain to fucking adults now with teenagers, because it's like, yo, like, I have a bunch of teenagers here. Like, I have a kid right now, and we'll you know, a kid named Johnny that wants to be identified as Teresa, you know, and his parents are like, yo, our son's Johnny. But at school, he's like, I want to be Teresa. So I have to be able to be respectful enough to understand that kid's identity, but respect the parents enough to say, okay, this is what you want the behaviors to be supported in the school setting. You know what I'm saying? So there's a fine line to that. It's like very difficult that I've noticed that, you know, it's so many different ideologies that are in this melting pot. And, you know, every way is the way that you want to raise your kid. But you know, I think a lot of times too, when I look at how the barometer of sexuality is looked at around the world as opposed to America and how repressed and how dangerous we view everything sexually and how open other countries are and living abroad, understanding this, like rape cases and sexual abuse and all these other cases are way down in Europe, way down in Asia, like third world countries, you know, we're notwithstanding because that's a whole different thing. But in socialized and cultural countries that actually have a civilization, you know, like other than America, we have the highest rapes, we have the highest sexual predators, the highest abuse, like all the highest things when it comes to sex. You know what I'm saying? But then we push this agenda that's so fucking crazy and it's backwards. And then you go to Europe and you see sexuality being brought into the culture naturally. Little kids giving each other kisses, women kissing each other, men, you know what I mean? Like in France, it's like, you know, we had that conversation about kissing your friends. Y'all can never kiss in France. You could never live in France because everybody kisses each other. You like, you know what I'm saying?
I was talking about full on making out, but yeah.
But you know, because y'all was talking about kissing on the lips and shit.
Yeah, we me and my cousin definitely were just like, mwah. Like,
yeah, but you know, in France they do that, like, you know, and that's all I was saying.
Well, also in like the Middle East, well, men hold hands when like best men will hold. Like my pana Abdul, this is such a stereotype, but he has a smoke shop off one of the main blocks out here. But that's my homie. Like as soon as I get off of work, every fucking day when I get off of work, I go over to the smoke shop. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't, you know what I mean? But I'll just that's my boy. So I'll go over there and I kick it with him. We'll talk about Islam. We'll talk about shit like going around the world. And like every time I see him, like I give him my left hand. He gives me the right hand. We'll just hold hands for a little bit and talk. Now, Lucho back in the day, I was like, yo, what's up with all that fairy shit, bro? Like I don't fly with that. But like when you start learning from other cultures, it's like America's got shit ass backwards. Like, and that was something I realized like as a child, because going to Mexico, I kiss everybody on the lips. My cousins, my tias, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a weird fucking thing. You know what I mean?
I was just using their example to fucking just.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Well, like whenever we see, you know, your grandma or your dad or everybody's like, hi, like this, the kiss on each side to say hello, like to greet each other.
Right.
Oh, but the difference between France and Mexico in that space, like you see how you see your grandma, was that an everyday thing or was that a ceremonial thing? Because did you grow up with your grandma in your house every day? Whereas in France, like it's like every day, mommy, daddy.
I just know it's every time I see her.
Okay, got you.
I grew up with my grandma, so it was every day.
Okay, yeah. I'm just, you know, I'm kind of assimilating so I could get a better understanding, because for the most part, most people look at affection in our country as a negative thing that only comes with a relationship.
Hyper-sexualized.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And I think those are some of the biggest reasons why some of our sexual discussions when it comes to children and when it comes to identity, or, you know, identity crisis, where some people say like it's so like different and it's so polar, you know, it's like such a polarizing thing. It's like, yo, like you can feel this way and respect these things and maybe not support these things and still respect them. Like, you know what I mean? And again, also to tie in what Lucho said, as far as like learning cultures, like we are a very young country, you know,
we are.
We've been here 500 years and we're competing with countries like fucking France and
thousands.
Spain. Yeah, you know, so that also adds to some of our fumbles and hurdles that we deal with, you know, systemically as well.
Well, also like America is like an experiment that's gone bad. It's you know, I hold some views that most people don't find. I'd probably get canceled for. You know what I mean? Like what? Well, like segregation. So segregation had very good points. So like well, the black people, they had their own economy. They had their own structures of power. And when they desegregated, a lot of it was just so white people could come in and take over everything. You know what I mean? And like you have like the positive and negative aspect. Positive is you have, you know, these different the melting pot, so to speak. But then you have all these white people who just come around and start jocking everybody's shit. They take it as their own and completely erase the previous history. I mean, look at history itself. All the history that's been taught in this country in the last 50 years, most of it, which has been built by people of color, has all been rewritten by white people, and it gets washed out of the fucking way. All these problems that we have, especially in our communities of color, it's because fucking white people have just fucking invaded everything. When before we had our own shit figured, we had our shit figured out, or we're figuring our shit out. Now it's fucking. I mean, when you look at it, like even around the globe, look at fucking Ukraine. You have thousands and thousands of African migrants who got left behind and were not allowed to flee the country and get on trains because it was Ukrainians first. You guys can fucking stay here. Little women and little children are fucking in the middle of battle zones, and we're not allowed evacuation just because they were black.
That's nationalism. And in times of war, nationalism takes precedence over race. You saw
of course,
in World War II, like amongst people that had the same skin tone. But segregation didn't work because when you weaponize the same economy against each other, it's destined to fail. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have a black income and a white income in a unilateral income. Like,
well, that's national economics,
like,
as far as that part. What I was referring to was the spending power in the community, like the value of the dollar.
Okay, let's use Tulsa for an example. That was a very valuable place. They had a lot of money as far as black people, you know what I mean? What happened to that? White people viewed that as a threat because black people created solidarity and decided to destroy it. And because white people still had the rules over that segregated but equal economy, it wasn't ever equal. Like, you feel me? Like, again, like my dollars, as me being a black man, my dollar's never going to be the same amount as a white rich man's dollar. Like, you know what I mean? There's no way possible in this country because the system wasn't set up for me to ever be a person anyway. I was always taught to be property. So the fact of, and that's the big reason why I chase money, because I want property, assets, values, things that black people aren't taught, things that black people aren't ever focused on. Like, minorities are like, yeah, I'm happy to live in a fucking apartment and have a roof over my head. I am not. I am not. Like, I want a house, I want space, because when I see the white person and they are able to give down generational wealth to their families, and their kids don't have to struggle, and they can literally focus on school and focus on owning more things to actually have a stronger family unit, that's what I want. So I look at that model for that. And as long as I see a model of me not owning things, I'm never going to win. You know what I mean? So my friends are like, yeah, you like to buy a lot of shit. Yes, I do. Because all the shit I buy are assets. Those are all things that create value to my family, to my heirlooms, all certain things that all rich white folks do. But us as minorities, we look at each other like, oh, you're buying shit. You're fucking, you're cocky, or you're conceited, or you're flashy, or you're this or you're that. No, motherfucker. Like, I understand my value. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. Some of us
were always raised to work. Like, I couldn't tell when I told my grandma I was going to college. She's like, you're wasting your time. You need to go work. Like, it was like not something of value to us. She's like, you need to go work. You need to go make money. Like, that's it. Like, take care of your kids. That's all. Like, there was no foresight, no like, hey, invest. Here's how you like build wealth, right? There is no wealth in my family. Nothing. Like, my mom's a first generation American, so like we haven't been here very long, but like there's nothing built. There's nothing to hand down. There's nothing to teach. My grandma didn't go past first grade. Like, she started working in a tortilla factory when she was 7, you know, like that's just not the mentality that we were was passed for us. Yeah, exactly.
My dad was always like, fucking fuck this rap shit. Don't make music, go to school. And like, then I graduated school, and then he was like, stop doing music. And then I'm living in other countries and like off of music. And he's like, are you still doing that music stuff? And I'm like, now making more bread than him off of music. And then with battle rap, I was like really making a lot of more money. And then he's like, oh, so my friends at work are talking about you. My friends at work are listening to your music.
They don't believe in your dream until it's like actually producing shit.
Yeah, I remember one day he comes to my house. He's like, "Yo, like you're at home." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm in your area." Wish I knew it was cap. Like this fool don't be my house. So he drives to my house to talk to me about his coworker. He's like, "Yo, dude, like my coworker like loves your music. I didn't even know you like made music like that." And da da da. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck you think I was
I've
always
been telling you.
like I would travel and go on tour and da da da." Like, he was
Right.
like, "I just remember you for going to jail." I was like, "Yeah, that's all you remember. Like you just hold on to negative aspects about me." I was like, throughout all those years of me going to jail, I was actually like getting a master's degree, playing basketball, being a D2 All America, fucking working 2 jobs, and like trying to get out of that stage of my life. So
Mhm.
thank you, because you put the battery in my back by always judging me, always saying that my ceiling was dumb low. But that's
Mhm.
what our parents do as minorities, because they're subconsciously fed their entire lives that they're not worth anything. I
Yeah.
have never felt that way about myself because I come from abuse. So it's like, nah, I am high value. Fuck out of here. Like, you can't ever tell me you control me. Like, you fucking are like that I'm an option. I gotta work for you. Like any of that, like in any part of a relationship. If I like you, if I'm trying to be your friend or anything, and I hear any of those things, those are immediate red flags. Because I come from slavery. You can't be some girl and be like, "Hey, I can like I have a control over you, or I control you," or like, no, I'm immediately already out. Because when I hear those kind of things, that's cultural to me. It's
Yeah.
like, yo, like we come from like motherfuckers saying, "I own you." You
Yeah.
think I'm gonna like you? Like
Yeah.
you're crazy. So there's so much about me that's fueled off of my fucking culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the
It's really hard
no,
to do that too, because it's like going against the conditioning. Like it's easier to default to like what it is versus what you're doing, you know? Like I tell myself that shit, right? But like there is still that part of me in my head, like, and it's super subconscious. It's not like a loud voice or anything, but
Well,
it's fucking
it's
there.
almost like embedded
It
the
is.
struggles and
Like
strife of your
as a
ancestors becomes
woman
embedded
who's
in your DNA, you know?
yeah.
ASMR. It's what is it? ASMR or AMSR or whatever?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally
So,
that.
like,
So
it's
much of
there, it's sitting there, like, I see it in the peripheral, but, like, it's not loud, but it's there, and, like,
right.
knowing what I know and, like, to know better, to feel a certain way about myself and to, like, try to have that outlook, it's pretty strong, but there's still that little motherfucker there that's like, "You're a woman, your, like, role as a, like, Mexican woman is to serve the man, like, do these things," right? Like, it's very fucking hard to, like, completely fuck out of here, you know?
Yeah, some should like I understand like traditional concepts, but and I get that being a woman. Also, I think too, probably being a black man, there's certain like concepts or traditions or certain things that we carry. But I think for us as a culture, because we come from a lack of lineage, actually like being able to trace our genes
Yeah.
from, like it's a lot more um distant, and it's not as traditional, so to speak. Like Mexican women come from like hundreds and hundreds of years of like fulfilling this space or that role traditionally, right? And then
Mhm.
you have black women who, because of slavery, became half matriarch, half patriarch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so that's why you have like this strong black mom image. For me, I never had that. I grew up with my dad. My dad,
Mhm.
my dad was my dad. My mom was always like, that's dad. Dad is number one in the crib. Like, you know what I mean? And I always, and for me, in any relationship that I'm in, I will always feel like I'm number one. And why? I will die for my wife. And I will never put my wife or girlfriend in a position to die for me. So for me, I think that the value what I bring is a little bit different than like the person that's protected. You know what I'm saying? And I also think the flip side of that is my girl or wife or significant other understanding that she's worth me dying. So there's
Mhm.
that side too. There's always like, oh, you think you're better than me? Nah, you're worth dying for.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
hard to hear.
Yeah, that is.
And
That's
so,
really hard for me to hear.
but it's real. It's real. It's like if like I think to have a relationship that like can work and like be further, like there's certain things I'm gonna designate to my lady, and it's not gonna be cooking or cleaning, but there's certain things that she's gonna designate for me. Like if a motherfucker bangs on the door, you think I'm gonna ask her to get up and go check the crib? No.
Right.
because there's certain things as a fucking partner that you fulfill traditionally. You know what I'm saying? And I think now, because we have so much liberation with man, woman, gay, whatever, that there's a lot of lack of tradition now. Like, I can be anything, but I can fit traditionally when I want to, but then I don't kind of want to, because like that's some new shit, like, you know? And I
Yeah.
think for me, just having certain values systemically in a relationship adds to my harmony. I don't want to be arguing with you about your role. Like, you're a lady. There's certain things I will never ask of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a woman and I respect that. Like, I'm not gonna like press you to do certain shit that I could do for myself. Like, I don't even want you for your gender. I want you for companionship and like actual fucking value asset bringing, like building, like bringing this shit up, leveling up. Like, it's not just this, oh, I'm the woman, you're the man. And I think so many relationships are caught up so much on that shit.
It's like a power struggle too.
Yeah, there's no growth. And I tap out immediately once like I start seeing women that I haven't interested or even like for a long time on that shit, because it's so fucking circular. And life ain't a circle. Life is a fucking ray. It starts and it ends. Like, it just goes, you know what I'm saying? And when you die, you keep going.
Yeah.
So if you think of the circular space, it's like start at 12 o'clock, end at 12 o'clock. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do now? And that's for me why I'm very particular, even when I pick my friends and like people that I'm around, because it's like, yo, like, we have to have some sort of symmetry, some sort of like common thinking. Even if we don't agree, our thinking can still be common. Because there's still a line where it's like segregation, like, you know how he just said that there were certain goods in segregation, but none of that to me was economy. I just thought that segregation in certain parts brought unity, because we had to rely on each other, because there was a bigger source of oppression that was like, yo, y'all got to kick it and learn and be together or you're done. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you built actual community.
Yeah, but once segregation worked against people with the unity, then it was like drugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Fucking hookers, fucking, you know what I'm saying? More cops. Like, it would just turn into that. So, you know, I see how a lot of these community leaders are like, yo, we have to focus on black issues or brown issues. I tell my Mexican homies all the time, like, bro, like, don't focus on black issues. Y'all doing the same shit as us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be mad because like black folks don't go to East LA, like, and go support a movement. You got to understand the history of fucking civil rights, my G's. This didn't start with y'all being the face. So you will never be the face of that. You will always be the testers on it, though. They'll use us for the fucking prototype and then they'll test it on y'all. Like, you know, and I tell my Mexican friends too, like, you never want to be the mom with your son being fucking George Floyd. Like, you don't want that. You don't want to be like, you know, if there's way less Vanessa Guillen's than there are, you know what I'm saying, fucking George Floyd's. And I think a lot of Mexican Americans and other cultures, even in general, get bothered about that. Where it's like, dog, that's nothing to get bothered about. You should be happy that they're not fucking using you as a monetary fucking victim, you know what I'm saying, for news and media and like creating this black versus white thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Be happy that you get to sit in the background and feel like you can complain and say, hey, what about us? Because literally it is me. Every time I go in the store, it's like, oh, there's a black guy, lady clutching her purse. I'm fucking in my 40s with a gray beard and like, I want to protect you more than see you hurt. And you're over here looking at me like I'm gonna kill you and shit. Like, you know?
That's so funny because I'm like the opposite. Like, white men.
I see white people. I'm like,
white men make me more nervous.
Same.
Like, I'm never like uncomfortable near a black man, but like a white man makes me nervous as fuck. Like, especially of a certain age and a certain, like, I'm like,
same.
Like, I don't trust you, motherfucker. And it's like, you know how they have those like implicit bias.
For anybody out there who's white,
this is not a white.
Oh yeah, no.
We're just talking about ears.
Yeah. And
we're being vulnerable right now. Chill, everyone.
I interned at the Department of Corrections in Oregon for the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. And we all had to do that like Harvard implicit bias test, right? Like, and so the idea is you have to answer fast enough to where you like you can't think about your answer. You have to make a fucking choice, right? And if you try to take too long, if you take even like a second too long or whatever, like it's done. It doesn't like, it's not gonna like, you got to start over.
Yep.
And so I interned. It was 2 other white girls in my internship, and we had to do like your view on black versus white people versus Arab people, and your how you associate men and women with work and family. And I was the only intern I had the strong automatic preference for black people over white people. I had a strong automatic preference for Arab people versus white people. And I had a strong automatic preference for women in work and like men with family, like men and like all the other interns had the opposite, and they're like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I don't know, but like I've always felt like this. Like this is something I've always felt, and I don't like
Crazy.
it's just something I know, like, too, because like when you look at like your friend groups, right? Like when I see people that I follow and the only friends they have are white people, I'm like, where's your diversity? Like, you don't have enough perspectives. Like, it's very weird to me that like it's not something that you like are aware of or care about. And like for me, I'm like, the majority of my friends are not white. They're like are from all different kinds of backgrounds and cultures and races and ethnicities. And like I like that because I like to have like different people and different experiences and shit around me. And I think that that's like that's really rich to me. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's where I come from. So like the clutching of the like in nice white neighborhoods, I lock all my fucking cars and like car doors and windows. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just
I'm scared of
what
white
it is.
I'm fucking terrified of white people.
White people blow people up. They fucking shoot people up. They like do the craziest shit.
They call the cops on you and lie about it.
Right.
And reported about it. I do not care about the bombs because if I'm gonna go, that's fake. But I care about just driving in traffic, going to 7-Eleven, and fucking Kimmy fucking decides to call the cops in because I'm on my phone. She says I'm waving a gun around and I got 19 cops in my face, like, you know, scaring me and my daughter's car. Like that sort of shit. Like,
yeah.
You know, or fucking, hey man, you talk really good. What?
That's
How
so
much
annoying.
are, you know, or black people like
you talk white?
No, yeah, like, you know, you don't talk like a black person. I've heard that my whole life. I've heard that my whole life. Like, you don't talk like a black person from every race, from black, Mexican, white, Asian. Like, yo, how am I supposed to talk? Tell me how I'm supposed to talk. Like, you know, and then another one too is like, I grew up with a lot of non-black friends because I'm black. What I go home to a black family, motherfuckers. My dad's darker than me. You know what I'm saying? My sister's black. My aunties and uncles, they all what? Black, right?
Black.
What the fuck, bro? Like, so me having a bunch of Mexican friends, Asian friends. I moved from New York to California. Like, you know, I lived in South Central amongst a bunch of black kids. Now I moved to the Valley and had a bunch of Asian, Mexican, white, Latino, Chicano, like a bunch of different friends.
Yeah.
I learned from your culture. I'm not from here. I want to learn about Mexicans. I want to learn about like what, you know, y'all throw the chancla. Okay, my mom throw the too. She throw the control. Like, you know, there's certain things that assimilate.
There's a lot of like similarities, like all like the black jokes and the Mexican jokes and that shit. It's like that's our class though too.
Yeah.
Like that's some poverty shit right there. Like we had Kool-Aid, like we had all those things. Like that was
Theo is fucking
right.
What the fuck? I was drinking Theo too.
Like I was here. The black people with the hot sauce. We got the tapatio too.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, we got
Kool-Aid was a treat. That was juice in our house. You know, like fuck.
Fucking chamoy was my ranch dressing. You feel me?
Mexicans is Kool-Aid. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same shit. Like Orange Bang. Like we have so many different things. And my whole shit was just like always understanding other people, dating outside my races. Homies would be like, oh, you date a Mexican girl? Yeah, for sure. She ain't black. Bro. I know about me. I want to know about her. I want to know about her culture, her story, her feelings, her emotions. Like, I want to learn about the world around me. Like, the fuck, bro? Like, I live in Mexico, motherfucker. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just to have that understanding, that has always kind of made me a lot different than my friends, but also a lot more attractive to my friends, because my friends love that about me. Or it's like, yo, you ain't scared to go talk to whoever, or you're not scared to be in this party, and I'll stand my ground. Like, if you act racist, I'm gonna tell you what the fuck it is. Like, you know what I mean? But I'll also educate my circle too. Like, I used to have a lot of racist Mexican friends. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
you got
that's
a
a
Kobe
really
Bryant jersey on. You're
yeah.
listening to Tupac.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up though? Like, you know, and it's like, oh shit, like, well, not all of y'all. What? Nah, bro. We're not. We're not doing that. We're not
Yeah.
doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so once you start kind of teaching your circle too, and if they really care, they change and they teach their circle. And that's been my gift. That's what I feel my purpose is to fuck with everybody and to either teach someone from my mistake or to teach somebody from the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, ain't no different than me, motherfucker. Just ease up, bruh. Be a part of the way most women. You know what I'm saying? You get the fuck. So, you know,
1000%.
that part. What's up, Sonia? Say something. Tell me something new. Tell me something good, baby.
Bitch, are you drunk? Are you drunk?
No, I'm just listening to
No,
the
she's
stories.
just divorced, so she's like elated right now. She's like,
I am like, I'm on cloud nine.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No,
So
I'm
how
just
does
listening.
it feel to be single?
It feels good. I was gonna
like
add
in
something
the eyes of the law. Okay, yeah,
real
add.
quick. Yeah, like, so you guys don't know, but obviously Stella knows, but I was married to a black man, and he wasn't like light skinned, he was like a dark black man. But like, still, like, it always would trip me out when we would go out to like eat or go somewhere and people would like stare at us. Like, it was so wrong to like see us together. And I'm like, bitch, it's 2015. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with people? Like, still this day and age, like, still you're getting looks. Like, it's just so weird to me that people are
It
like that.
happens because I went out with my friend Jen in Reno, and we were at this bar, and a black guy came up to me and like hit on me, and I was like, he's fucking cute as fuck. Like, and I talked to him, I hung out with him the whole night, but we were getting mad fucking looks. And I was like, I know they're tripping because I'm dancing and hanging out with a black man. Like,
remember in Oregon at my birthday?
It like, yeah. And it like, it fucking just, if anything, it makes me want to do it even more. But like, the fact, like, yeah, for her birthday they came up to Oregon, and her and her husband, and we went to a bar, and they started fucking with her and him, and it's like a group of white guys. But like in Eugene, if you're a black man and you look somewhat athletic, they always assume I'm just saying, like, he was very, like, he's a football player. He had a football player body. Like, it was very clear. But they assume that every black man in Eugene who's athletic plays for one of the Oregon Ducks sports teams. Right? And so they fuck with you extra because they want to, like, ruin your life. Right? Or get money or some shit. And they were fucking with him, and he's obviously not going to engage in this shit. Like, he's there, his wife's trashed because it's her birthday. He's like trying to keep her safe and trying not to go to jail or become a fucking statistic. You know what I mean? Get hurt, killed, whatever the fuck. And they're just like saying all the racial slurs and Black Mamba and all this shit. And we took off. But like, that shit is fucking real. And it like there, and I think it's shit like that that gives me more disdain, like, and more no trust in like white men, is because of the shit like that I've seen firsthand happen to my family or myself when I'm with like a black man in public or something. Like, this shit is fucking real. Like,
oh, it's definitely real.
It's people deny it though, and it's like,
hearing you guys explain my life while I just sit back and relax. But yeah, for sure.
But I mean,
sorry.
It's like what you said earlier, Stella. Is like, you have people who, the confines of their friendships, it's all the same. White people
Yeah.
who are all so it's foreign to them. They don't fuck. It's the same thing with like I mean in fucking music when fucking people are like, oh, I don't like rap. Oh, you can't even understand what they're saying half the time. It's like motherfucker, it ain't for you. You don't speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Yeah.
you don't understand what like me. Like I'm a Chicano. I wasn't raised Chicano. That's just my ethnicity. My both my parents are immigrants. I'm first generation American, but I didn't grow up in a white community. I didn't even grow up in a Chicano community. I grew up in the black community. I was part of a 99% black congregation in the church growing up. All my friends were black. My roommate, even to this day, my roommate is black. Black folk are the one that fucking, they're the ones that bring me. Black people are the most accepting people, like hands fucking down. Like they fucking took me in when I was a kid and fucking taught me everything that I fucking know about life. And like now as an adult, there'll be white people and they always gotta say some slick side shit out the side of their mouth because they think I'm this white boy. And it's like, motherfucker, we are not synonymous. We're opposite ends of the spectrum. You may think I look like you, but I'm not like you
Mm-hmm.
at fucking all. Like, don't get that shit
Mm-hmm.
twisted for a minute. And like seeing that growing up in the black community, you see everything that goes on. You see how everything operates and you understand. And then from people on the outside, it's completely foreign to them and they don't want to empathize. They don't want to even recognize it. They don't want to hold any value to it. It's foreign to them. It doesn't fucking matter. It's like when people see all the shit that happens in the world and then how it gets portrayed in news media. Everybody wants to take a spin on shit, but not acknowledge history. You know what I mean? And act like, oh, and then some people who are like, oh, wow, this stuff is really happening. This is motherfucker. It's always been like this. You are just now fucking privy to it. So like,
Yeah.
it's
A
I
big
don't know.
reason why people are scared to speak out is because they don't want to be treated the same way that black folks are treated.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to lose your comfortable space as far as like a
Oops.
little bit of momentum that you have in the minority. So if you say something in favor of anything that may support the black community, you may lose leverage in your own community or lose respect from your peers. And people
Yeah.
live with that fear too. And I've dealt with that too, as far as like people not supporting me because of it. But at the same time, like it just make your boy stronger though. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, cool. Like, if y'all all gotta like gang up and we still lit, hey baby, it's all
I know.
good. It's all
You know what
good.
I'm saying?
Like I ain't even tripping. Like I've never looked at me as like weak. If anything, it's like, bro, I'm greater. Like it's cool. Like everything in this world is fucking something that my culture brought to it. So good luck with that. Like,
That's
what
the
I mean?
outlook I have with my
So
skin.
it's
Like,
all good.
how you gonna call me ugly, bitch, when you're tripping off the way I look? Clearly, you're threatened. Fuck out of here.
Like, slang, like people don't even realize like how much slang are black things from slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't.
Yeah.
It's like I
Yeah.
hate people. Y'all ain't shit, and you just use black fucking vernacular. It's
Yeah.
like no doubt.
Yeah.
So like just the
Like,
history.
well, actually, it's in Webster's dictionary now, so it's a word and I can use it. Like, fuck out of here.
Just that kind of stuff where people live in so much denial because they actually realize certain things, but the truth, rings louder in a deaf mind. You know what I mean? Like straight up. Like when you aren't focused on certain things and something hits you and you don't think you can hear it, like it actually becomes louder noise. Like, it's like, yo, fucking I hate black people. I hate black people. And then you notice, like, do you find it interesting that like most white folks that go to prison that are racist, when they leave prison, they're not racist anymore?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you realize that because there's a big learning from the other men that are around them that it's not even about race anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they just use this race thing to weaponize the fact that they're all fucking knocks, they all tweakers, and that they all have little power struggles and fucking trauma issues and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when they get out of jail, it's like, oh, I was brainwashed that, you know what I mean? The lucky thing, I was from a gang, but it wasn't about race. You know what I mean? If anything, like that shit taught me way more solidarity in my culture, way more preservation. And it helped me to this stage now where I can actually talk to my kids from that experience. I'm talking about my students. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, oh, you brought a gun to school? All right, before I call the fucking the security or the cops, like, what's up? Come outside, come talk to me. Like, who's fucking up here that like you got to bring a gun to school? Because I remember being in that same space. And there's the balance of that. Like, you know, there's the respect of like actually having experience too. So I've never been a big judge because I've gone through all sorts of shit motherfuckers wish they did just to be as strong. Like, you know, I've done both sides of the law, like working for the sheriff's department, being locked up by sheriffs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like dealing with like fucking running from the cops and being like, yo, my dad's in law enforcement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like having homies that are fucking cops and like having homies killed by cops. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's just the reality when it's like you live in California. You got to deal with all sorts of shit, a police state, all sorts of racism. This is the most racist state, hands down. Hands down. We have fucking Mexican on Salvadorian racism. We have fucking
it's crazy.
We have, you know, like,
it's fucking wild.
Spanish, I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? We have motherfuckers like, yo, like, you have to speak English here. And if you don't speak English here, then you're fucked up. And then you have people here that are like, I don't have to speak English. You should learn Spanish. It's like all of that shit where it's like, fam, like, why don't y'all just learn all sorts of shit?
Yeah.
I know 3 languages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My part Japanese is like, you don't look Japanese because that's what people go by. And then I start talking Japanese fluently, and it's like, oh fuck, dude. Like, yeah, bitch.
You speak it fluently?
Yes, I do.
That's so cool.
Yay, you get to
Who's Japanese in your family?
My kids to Japan.
My grandfather and my dad.
Okay.
And me.
Oh, cool. That's super cool.
Watashi wa Sonya.
What's that mean?
My name is Sonya. Tell you
my daughter and my son sing their Japanese from anime, but I don't think they know what they're fucking saying.
They're young enough to learn it, and it's really dope.
Abby definitely teaches herself some shit. Like Gavin just repeats it because, you know, he just does. It's just he's silly. But she like actually is like tries to learn. That's just who she is.
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd, dude. I read like all
That's
sorts
my girl.
My dad had me reading books in 3 different languages and shit as a kid. So, because I was reading Japanese in 2 different kanjis, so those are 2 different languages, damn near. So I learned like kanjis from 2 different parts of the island, and then learning fucking English. You know, that dad had me just reading and like learning and learning and learning. So I wound up being a square ass fool, but also running the streets like a wild ass fool. You know what I mean?
Those are the dangerous ones.
Yeah, and then I wind up like getting out of school.
Multiple intelligences.
Oh, facts.
Back to a Bronx tale. You get 2 educations. You get education in school and you get education in the streets.
That's where I was born, in a BX. Don't play with me.
Oh my God. My friend Lucy is from the Bronx. And I remember when we were 18 and we were working at Albertsons, we crossed the picket line because we were working there during the strike. We were scabs. And like the people were trying to like block her. She was like getting carts from the fucking the parking lot. And they're trying to block her and she's trying to go through and they're like, scab like in her face. She's all, oh, you're not about to get in my face. I'm from the fucking Bronx. I'll stab you. They're like, oh shit. They fucking got out of, but you know, she said it in her little Dominican, accent. Puerto Rican, Bronx accent. And like, she was not fucking playing.
Real.
They knew. They fucking moved out of her way immediately. She's like, I'll fucking stab you.
Yeah, for real.
Culeros.
Fucking good old days. You could just pull a knife out and fucking scrap. You feel me?
Talking about marriage, how long were you married?
8 years. We were together 10.
Oh, marriage is like I always wanted to get married. I still will at one point.
You know what's crazy is
I believe in it still.
I never wanted to. Ever. I never saw myself as someone who would ever be married. Like, I don't know why. I just never did. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because my mom wasn't. I don't know where the fuck it comes from. But like now I'm like, I like lightweight want to be married. like I kind of want to see what that's like.
Right.
Just marry the right one.
The concept of it is fucking awesome to me, at least, just because like seeing my parents like deal with every single fucking aspect of life in the book, and like when I see how they look at each other, old as fuck right now, it's still lit fuck.
That's what I want.
That's amazing. That's what I want.
They've been married since I was 4 years old. I was a ring boy. My parents fucking got married. Like my dad, like it's such a crazy story. I gotta
That's
share.
hella funny you say that because
My pops the real one. I'm gonna give it up to my dad
that's
right now.
hella funny.
My dad,
My parents got married when I was 4 years old, and I was the ring boy. And then they got divorced 6 years later.
My dad my dad worked with my stepmom and my real mom at the same time, and he was with my real mom, but he liked me. Look, my dad is away, bro. Check it. So my dad had a kid with my mom. My mom was she was out of there. So at 7 months, my dad is taking care of me by himself. And then like he's working at the same job. My stepmom is not giving my pops no kind of play for like a year plus. But my dad, like me, is a real one. We don't quit on something we believe in. And it always works out. You feel me? So he fucking kept pursuing her, went on a date with her. 40 years later, holler at the kid. You feel me?
Oh my God, I love it.
They went on a date. My dad fucking was like in love with my stepmom, married her, fucking, and then we moved to California. You know what I'm saying? Like there was like shit going on in my family where my mom was like, yo, like I'm gonna leave you or we moving to Cali, and my dad left. He was like, we going to Cali. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And to me, and that's what I'm saying, like when it comes to fucking a dynamic in a relationship, like my mom was like, I'm out. And my dad was like, you're worth dying for. That part. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I ain't about to be dating no weird ass girl. Fuck that. Like there's a level to this shit. Cause that's how I look at love. That's how I value a situation. Mm-hmm. It's like some whole other shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, like you got a fat ass. You got some nice titties. Like you got a dope. All right, cool. All that shit is cool. But you were fucking nuts and like terrible for me. Like, mm-hmm. You know, or you could just be some modest, low key chick that nobody really pay attention to that fits every part of me. Like, you know, like, you know, I like to smoke weed. A lot of girls don't like that shit. Cool. But that's my business. Like I plan on making millions of dollars doing that. So if that's something you're not around, it's all good. But there's certain things about me that I won't compromise. And if you really want to be with me, you have to understand those things too, because I'm gonna have to compromise things to be with you.
Right.
Fucking fairness. Like, but I don't think equality should fucking create the outcome. You know what I'm saying? In anything. Like if you're the best person for the job in anything, you should get the job. Man, woman, black, white, fat, tall, midget, giant. You know what I'm saying? Like affirmative action fucked up the workforce to me personally. Because when you say there's 20% of certain people that can work there, the rest of the community only thinks that that's the fucking ceiling. And now more hustling out of that community to fill that space because they don't feel equal anymore. It's like, oh, all the jobs are filled. We filled all the black people. Now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's the big reason why segregation didn't work either, because it created affirmative action, which done fucked up the workplace, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to me, there's just things in my life that I'm like, shit gotta just be cool because I'm in my 40s. I don't want to be arguing with the girl I love. I don't want to be let's just vibe. Let's travel. Let's edibles and fucking mushrooms and like shit. Like what the fuck? Life ain't that. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's
so. Spec, do you kill spiders too?
Just kidding. So when I was a kid, this is a funny story. I used to catch black widows. Like I would catch I would catch black widows and I would put them in like apple juice jars. Like, and I would have hundreds of them in my backyard. And my mom would go back there and she was like, fuck, dude, like, I wish I knew you as a kid. Like, she was always happy about that because I just love catching spiders. So, like, now for me, my daughters need to kill a spider. Yo, go get that. Go handle that. Like, you know what I mean? It's all good. Like, you know, like courage, like, you know. But yeah, I'll kill the spider. It's all good.
Good to know. Noted.
I feel bad. I catch and release when I can. And then when they're like massive, I don't know why I'm so fucking scared of them. They're more scared of me.
I know.
They're more scared of me. I'm bigger. I'm scarier. You know.
Never catch and release an insect.
Why? They just get eaten or something. It just happens to them.
A big population of insects are born en masse to produce for other animals to live. So if you kill an insect, it's not necessarily killing off the population. What it actually may be saving you from is an infestation.
Infestation.
Now you have a fucking random bird burrowing under your fucking cabinet, just eating crickets and shit. Like,
yeah, I hope they are. I just felt so guilty about it. And like oftentimes too, though, when I don't have time or like whatever and I just don't do it, I like vacuum them. They meet the tornado.
Yeah.
And I feel guilty about that.
I do too. I'm like, oh, you came into the wrong room today, Mr. Spider. Well, smash it. Sorry.
I like to find honeybees and like nurse them back to health.
Oh, here we go.
I have
I've done that.
I have a whole collection of like videos. I got like in my other phone I got like 50 of them. I just like started documenting because like majority of the time when you see a bee on the ground, it's due to exhaustion.
Oh.
So like anytime like I see like a bumblebee or a honeybee, like I usually just, and you're not supposed to touch it with your fingers. So don't ever. So I usually get like a piece of paper or like wax paper.
I get a leaf.
Or a leaf. And you scoop it up, and then what you do is I get like a bottle cap with some water, and I'll put like a caramel, like let the caramel melt in the water, and then go. I actually have a really good video of this where you actually see the bee like stick its tongue out and start drinking the sugar water out. Yep. And then it usually takes them like because they'll fly themselves to like straight up exhaustion. They can fly themselves to death.
Yeah, they're like workers. That's like their
I had a bee one time for like 12 hours, like literally just chilling in my room, fucking just sitting there, fucking like it would like take a couple steps, it'd walk away from the cap, then it would just like lay there. At one point I thought it was dead, and so I got a Q-tip and like I just tapped it a little bit, but then it fucking like woke up. But then and then I mean sometimes they do just die because they're fucking old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They already have a short lifespan as is.
They can't catch the scent of the rest of the bees either after a certain while.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, so they get like lost out there in the world.
Well, also like if they're migrating, like if for some reason their hive has been destroyed, they have to migrate and find a new area. Sometimes like the stress of that will
disorient them.
Disorient them, and they have to be grounded. So also like if you do find a bee, don't like bring it home. Like you have to, where you found it, within like 20, 30 yards of that area is where you need to nurse it back to health.
That part.
So like outside the studio, we used to find them all the time. There was next to him across the street was this giant row of like rose bushes and flowers and shit. And like on the street, in the gutter, in the sidewalk, I would just see them all the time. So I'd pick them up, be in the studio, nurse it back to health. And then, I mean, I'm not going to be in the studio for 3 days straight. So at the end of the session, I had this little, on the side, there would be like, it's not like a nook on the outside of the building. I mean, it's kind of like a nook, but it's like for some reason, just a part of the wall was cut out and it was flush on the inside. But then there would be a lip. So it'd be perfect. So like the wind would never really get in there. So I just fucking leave them in there. It's open. Like, and a lot of times I'd come back the next day, it would be gone. Sometimes the next day it would still be there. And then get out of the studio and then boom, it's fucking gone. I'm like, another life saved.
It's so sad when I see them like just like laying on the floor. I'm like, oh, they're so like little bodies. They're so cute.
I know. I feel so
little
bad
bears.
for them.
I know. I'm allergic to them, but I love them.
I'm allergic to them
as
too.
Fuck to bees.
I'm allergic to bees too. That shit is not a game.
Right.
I am too.
Anaphylactic shock is no joke.
Yeah, no. There was a whole ass swarm on one of my son's games a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, like we just saw the big ass swarm. It like came to the field and everybody like got down. And my son was like one of the only 2 kids in the middle of the thing because he didn't see it fast enough. And so he like got down and he's like with his head down, just staying very still. I'm like, stay still, Gav, because like, you know, he knows what's up. And he's like, I could feel them afterwards. But it took forever. They were on him forever. And I was just like, don't move, bro. Like, don't move. And he's like, I could feel them crawling like on me. Like,
oh my God.
It was crazy. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm swole. Like, I'll swell the fuck up. But like,
yeah.
I have, like, there's been a time where we went hiking in Oregon and we kind of went off the trail just like barely because the river was right there. And he was with a walking stick and he accidentally hit a wasp nest in the ground. And I didn't even know that wasps did that.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, but they do. They'll put
They'll
their
burrow.
hive in the ground. And they fucking came up and just started swarming him. And he was like 4. I went into the fucking swarm and I picked him up and I just like lifted him as high as I could and like walked up the embankment to get him out of there. And they're like attacking me. Like he had like 3 on his face, a couple on his legs. Like I had some on my legs. Like they were fucking pissed.
Bees. They're not like bees. They keep stinging.
They'll keep going. Yeah. So like him and I were like under severe attack. And like I didn't even think twice about it. I went into the swarm and I fucking picked up my child and tried to get him the fuck out of there, you know? Like
that's insane.
And I was like having flashbacks when the swarm was on him at the soccer field.
So at the soccer game, like what were they just like hovering above, or
they came from these trees? All of a sudden we saw the people in the stands on the other side like start moving and getting scared, and then they came onto the field, and then they went literally all the way down the field. Gavin laid down and stayed there, and they kind of just hovered around him for a while, and then they moved to our sideline and just like stayed there. And like we're there for like a solid 45 minutes and then took off.
Most likely what happened was their hive became compromised, and when that happens they evacuate the queen. But the thing is, the queen is 3 times larger than the average bee, so they can't fly as long and as far as the hive, so usually she'll ground. And what happens is you'll have some of them who will they'll be like surrounded. I'd say like maybe like 10 to 20 of them will actually like stay on top of the queen, like hover, like on her, like encapsulate her. Then you'll have more surrounding, and then you'll have the rest of the hive will hover. Because birds
it on Gavin, and then fucking we're crawling on him.
While
we're hovering, like
yeah. So what the bees will do is they cause a distraction, because if you see a queen bee, that's prime meat for a fucking bird. You know what I mean? And birds have tremendous vision. So what the bees will actually just create this distraction, they'll like a cloud, and they'll just circulate to try and distract any bee. So most likely the hive got attacked by a bird or something, and then they just went into fucking chaos mode. And due to stress, the queen, she can't fly very long, so she probably grounded herself. And when you said that it moved, like it was there on the field, then it moved, she probably tried to fly away and wasn't ready, and then she fucking grounded again. And then they'll stay there until she's ready to fly again. And it takes about an hour for a queen bee to recover to fly.
That part.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You know a lot about bees.
I know a lot about a lot of shit. That's what
I like it. I like it. Picasso.
Read a lot, right? Yeah. Watch nature fucking docs all the time.
Yo, I used to go ham. I'd take like 5 grams of mushrooms and watch Planet Earth all in one night.
Like they'll come over here, and like probably a good 70% of the week I have like a nature doc on.
That was my kids. Like growing up, like that's the only kind of shit. Like I didn't let my kids watch a lot of things. Like I didn't let them be on the screen, like really ever. But if they were, it had to be educational, and it was always like a nature thing. Or if they watched a cartoon, it was Wild Kratts, because they would learn shit. Like I was all about that. Okay, if you're gonna watch this, it better fucking teach you something. So
I didn't have cable. I didn't have cable as a kid. So like growing up, it was like Sábado Gigante, fucking Power Rangers, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then whatever was on PBS. And majority of the time it was like Reading Rainbow or fucking nature, just shit about fucking animals in the wild.
3-2-1 Contact, Sesame Street, Reading
Facts.
That's all you got. That's the trifecta on PBS right there. You might get a little Wild America if you want to get frisky.
Wild America.
And we can throw some Wild America on there.
Yeah, and the night off with some Bob Ross while you going to sleep. Call it a day.
I was a Barney kid. I loved Barney. I loved kid songs.
It was funky. I was like, bro, these songs suck.
I loved Barney.
I thought he looked like Charles Barkley, and
I didn't like any of that shit. I didn't like Sesame Street. I didn't like Barney. I didn't like none of that shit. And
Sesame Street, it wasn't the whole show. It was like I fucked with Oscar the Grouch. I fucked with the Count. I fucked with Elmo.
I didn't fuck with anybody. I didn't like any of that shit. I like the only cartoon I liked was Scooby-Doo.
And
Gonzo.
Gonzo.
Sesame Street was awesome, man. Like the early Sesame Street, I think as it aged, like it got a little weird, but like
Yeah, it definitely did.
early Sesame Street growing up was fucking fantastic.
But I was also like, I lived with my grandma and my uncle Alex and everything. And so, like, from a very, very young age, and I mean, I still slept in a crib, fucking a young age. My uncle would always have me watch like horror movies with him. I was like a toddler watching Freddy Krueger, Jason, all that shit. Like, my favorite movie when I was 5 was The Exorcist. Like, like I didn't like cartoons like that, and I remember
a lot about you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how
So,
my
like,
my grandma was, my grandparents. So like that's why like such a like a movie buff, and like I love cinemas because my grandparents didn't have any no fucking cable television, not even a fucking antenna. They had a fucking Betamax and a
my uncle
VCR
had
that like
mad betas.
barely
Like
those they were
shelves of
so
Betamax.
old.
Yeah.
Remember?
So old,
Yeah.
barely worked. You constantly had to adjust the tracking on the VHS while you were watching
Yep.
because shit would
Yep.
be fucked up. But they just
Yep.
had like fucking movies and shit, and like it was always like either science fiction or fucking
Facts.
horror. And like I remember being like 4 years old, fucking watching fuck, what was that shit? Oh, Child's Play.
Oh
and
yeah.
fucking and being like, fuck with Chucky. Yo,
You were born in 1986?
no, 91. Child's Play was on a VHS.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to do some math right now.
Nah, I'm 91. I'm 30.
Okay. For sure.
Yeah.
90. Woo, woo.
And
85.
but then like with my grandfather would show me more of like the cinematic side of movies. So like growing up with like a Bronx Tale or Cinema Paradiso or fucking fuck, what was that fucking movie called? It's a beautiful, I think it's called It's a Beautiful Life. It's an old fucking, it's a movie about the Nazis and shit, but it's an Italian movie.
Yeah,
Oh my god, yeah, we watched it in school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
La
a fucking
Vida
yeah, La Principessa.
Principessa.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that movie breaks my heart.
And like my grandfather, he wasn't my blood relative, but he was the only grandpa I knew growing up, and he was from Nicaragua. So like his taste in movies were all foreign films, movies from South America, movies from Europe, movies from Japan and Korea. So like I grew up watching. It wasn't just American movies. Like people were like, "Oh, I'm going to watch Jurassic Park." Like I fucked with it, but like the movies I grew up watching with is like I'll talk about movies and people are like, I have no clue what the fuck you're talking about.
You sound like the person who hacked my HBO Max. Because, like,
yo, tell me, I almost DM'd you.
Shit. The most random shit.
My bad.
All over the place. It's old movies, it's new movies, it's kid movies, it's foreign movies, it's all. I was like, oh my god, someone is on my shit watching mad fucking movies. Like within the last like 2 weeks. So that's the last time I logged onto my HBO because I was trying to get caught up on Euphoria. I had 2 episodes to watch. And in those 2 fucking weeks, someone went fucking ham on my HBO. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, who's doing this?
Did you change all your stuff? Your password and everything?
Well, I disconnected a TV that I didn't recognize because you know how you like can manage your devices. And it was Helly's TV, but Helly has her own, like, I gave her her own account on, like, her own little icon on my shit so that it doesn't, like, fuck with my personal, accounts algorithm.
Oh.
And so, like, that's what makes me mad is because now, like, my HBO Max, like, suggests movies to me that I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And it's, like, all over the place, too. It's like...
No.
I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm mad. Whoever fucked with me, like, you really got to me. Like, you could say all kinds of shit, but you just fucked with my HBO. Like, that's a problem. Because I hardly watch it. So, like, that's what makes me so much more mad about it.
Did y'all ever watch the Twilight Zone growing up?
The old ones or the new ones?
Original Twilight Zone.
I had to in school.
In school?
One of my teachers was like obsessed with that shit and he would like play it for us.
That's weird.
Well, when you look at most movies that came out like in the fucking like from the 70s forward, a lot of them are just the original concepts are based on episodes of
Twilight Zone.
fucking the Twilight Zone. Like
Yeah.
Rod Serling was like prolific with his writing, but like it wasn't just Rod Serling. Like you had like Charles Beaumont and like Montgomery Pittman. Like those three dudes like were prolific with their writing when it came to fucking television. And like, cause I'll see movies all the time today and I'll be like, this is fucking
Twilight Zone episode.
it's a Twilight Zone episode.
Thanks.
Like they totally jocked that shit.
Well, a lot of Hollywood too is like so typecasted and almost like recreated and reimagined through, you know, a lot of production companies and shit that they don't really step outside a lot of storylines. That's kind of why now you have you know, a lot of shit that's even themed, like the Twilight stuff that you could fucking go back and like attribute to like other series of Dracula and shit like that. There's always a Dracula movie of every generation. There's always like fucking big love story because that's what Hollywood is and shit. But foreign films, that's piqued my interest when you start talking about foreign films. Your boy loves a good foreign film. I fuck with a lot of foreign movies. I think foreign films actually don't conform to the American style of cinematography, which actually makes the movies better because there's a lot more love, emotion, violence, just deeper storylines. Like the movies are just way more emotional
and not as predictable too, because there's no checkpoints in making a movie. There's checkpoints in making a movie. You have to have this, you have to have this, then you have to have
you
this
have a storyboard, obviously, but
it's
not so weaved into this American like conceptualized thing.
Right. But also like the shots, the color schemes, and the editing, like it's completely different.
I got two for you. You might have seen them, you may have not, but I got two for you. Then I suggest this to all of my homies that like foreign films. One is Sin Nombre.
Sin Nombre, I've watched that.
Awesome movie. And another one is The Hunt for the Wilder People.
The Hunt for the Wilder People. Hold on, let me write this down.
That's on Netflix. You can
watch
it? Yeah. And Taika Waititi, you know that dude, the dude that did Thor Ragnarok, Jojo
Taika.
He directed and wrote that movie as well. And I think that's his best movie and shit. But those are two movies that I usually suggest to my homies on some foreign film shit because they're very lit.
Very lit.
Oh, this came out in 2016?
Yeah, facts. Brixby Bear, y'all can watch that. That's also an awesome movie.
Sam Neill is in that.
Yeah, he is. It's a dope movie, bro. It's like a really dope movie. It's hilarious though too, because it's about this kid in a group home, and he sounds, you know, he's going through some shit. So it's
I think dope. I saw the trailer. Isn't this like based on like a true story, or it's like based
on like a book?
Oh, okay.
So it goes in chapters and shit. It's awesome. But yeah, foreign films dope.
Fuck yeah.
Y'all should watch more foreign films. Change your password, Stella.
I need to change my password. I do need to change my password.
You didn't change it yet?
No, well, like, okay, so I get HBO Max through my cell phone. Like my cell phone bill.
I mean, through you have
okay.
For my AT&T.
Right.
And so like I can't even like sign into HBO like with an email and password. I have to sign into it via AT&T.
You can make your own account. Well, you can make another email account in the HBO app.
I'm gonna have to learn how to do that because it always tells me nah.
I got the same thing, so you know what I mean.
Okay, well, you gotta tell me the ways because I don't know.
All my homies that want to use my account, go to flickstore.to, and you can watch all the new movies across the world all the time.
Bflix is my shit. That's my hidden gem. I try not to tell people though.
So my kids and I, like 2 summers ago.
Bflix. It's literally like as soon as I open up my web browser, that's the only fucking thing I fuck with.
Oh, good to know.
So like 3 years ago, my kids and I worked at the city of Eugene and I did the recreation program in the summer for kids. And so I'd always take my kids to work with me. And so when we get home in the afternoon, I'd cook dinner and then we'd sit down together after we showered and we'd binge watch like a series. So like we did Friends, we did Seinfeld, we did Golden Girls. Like my
Oh,
kids love all those shows. Like
you for
my
being-
kids are fucking dope. And so then last night they were like, let's watch, like let's start another series because we're moving and we're moving far away. And so they said like let's do that again where like it's just the three of us hanging out like watching a series. And they chose Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because they haven't seen any of them. And so like we started season 1 yesterday and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is bringing up, obviously I've seen it all, but like
Wait a minute, hold on, go
it's
back.
new
So
for
you,
them.
y'all are moving to Oklahoma?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did you apply to a place?
Not yet, but that's like I'm trying to dial it down to see if I need a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom because
See if your brother's going or not.
if my brother's going or not. Yeah. So,
Do you have like a time frame on this?
well, I'm supposed to renew my lease on March 17th, and obviously I'm not going to do that because it's too much money for me.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter is in a play though. She just started this musical that she like worked hard to get into, and the show dates for that aren't till the first week of May. So the way that I see it is I do like 1 month of month to month, which would be April. And yeah, use it. You don't have a fucking choice. Sorry, my son's gonna use my towel because he didn't take his towel into the bathroom. um, so what was I saying? So I'm thinking second week of May.
Oh shit.
I know, how sad, huh? But like since it's just gonna be the three of us, probably they like brought it up last night. Like let's do what we did, and we just like so we have something that we watch, you know, for a couple of months together, kind of a deal. And that's what they wanted to watch was Fresh Prince.
Fire.
That's a good choice.
So I like that they liked Friends. I love Friends. I think it's fucking hilarious. And more so as now as an adult who's 37 versus when I was younger and I watched it. Right. It's like more relatable in that sense. They love like Seinfeld. They loved Golden Girls. Like that was their shit. Like they love that show. And so like I like that they're into this shit that was like way, way before their time, you know? Like that they're mature enough to even like laugh at some of this stuff. And I know that it's going to be funny now to them, but like in 10 years from now when they watch it again, they're going to be like, oh, you know, like shit's going to click for them. So
I literally just can't even believe you're leaving.
Hit a little different.
Huh?
I said Rue McClanahan gonna hit a little different. I'm sorry, I didn't want to talk over you, Sonia. I apologize.
That's okay. No, you're good. No, I just said I can't even believe you're leaving. Like I just got you back.
I know. I just got back.
She don't care about the West. She out of here.
You suck.
Yeah,
The West don't care about me. Fuck. You know what I'm saying?
You got people sad. You got people sad that she leaving. So clearly you do.
Yeah, people. The West, though, in general, capitalism got me fucked up. So, I just look at it as like it's a new adventure. It's a new place. It's affordable. I've been staying up till 1:00 in the morning every night doing like mad fucking research. Like, what is the best neighborhood for me and my kids to live in? Like all the prices, what houses belong to what schools, looking at the schools' websites, looking at reviews of schools, like weather, right? It's Tornado Alley. Like here we go. But like I also lived in Billings, Montana, where we had tornado warnings like every fucking night in the summer, you know, like every afternoon. And actually a tornado hitting like 7 miles north of our house. Like that actually happened. So yeah, this is strange. I mean, obviously
like the
nothing's
furthest place you can go.
Bitch, I looked everywhere. Like,
You
yeah, I
suck.
can go to Phoenix, in the outskirts of Phoenix, where there's like one house that I could afford. That's, you know, in 2 years
Okay
from
to do
now,
that. I'm just
rent.
kidding.
2 years from now, I'm not going to be able to afford it. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's just what it is. Like,
Are you moving there to buy or moving there to rent?
I will rent for the first year and then buy. And that's somewhere where I can actually buy by myself, right? Because I also have to consider the fact that I'm not married. Like, I do have to kind of like tackle life solo.
Right.
And like, I'm raising 2 kids by myself. Like, that shit ain't cheap, you know? So that's where I'm at. That brought the whole fucking mood down.
No,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
moving.
I don't want to have this conversation right now.
No, I mean it's a step for you. Like, but you didn't bring the conversation down. You moving? I ain't. It's all good, girl. Do your thing.
You
It's
know,
It's
like,
not all good. It's not
like
all good.
I want to go somewhere where I could like get in the game and start building equity, you know? Like, it doesn't even have to be forever. It's going to be for a few years, but like, I'm not going to be able to fucking buy a house here. Like, it's just at that point. And I don't have, you know, 700 grand for a fucking shed, you know? Like, that's just not what I have. That's not in my budget. So
you ain't gotta apologize for trying to level up. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
not at all.
Gotta
I mean,
do
that's
you.
that's literally why I moved out. Like, I mean, I can't see myself like moving out of LA. I mean, out of California at this point, but I moved from downtown LA 20 minutes east because I needed a way more affordable like lifestyle. And
mhm.
my lifestyle is way more affordable and I have a way bigger ass house and like it's way cheaper and just
Right.
when I tell my friends what I pay for rent for all of my space, it's surprising to them. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
there's literally houses like this all in my neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
houses for like 600,000 and shit, like, and I did
Yeah.
real estate for years and shit. So that's what I say. I tell a lot of my homies that are thinking about moving, like, yeah, move, but you know, keep in mind that like you can find some of the same things that you're looking for in California too. It's just really like having to search and having the right people look for you for the right things you want. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like for me, where I live at, like the school districts are good. There's not a lot of crime. There's big ass streets. Like there's a lot of things that make what I want for myself conducive. And then also too, I think sometimes like, yo, should I move back to Vegas or should I go live in South Carolina where it's like a little more low key and rural and shit? And I own some
Mhm.
property there already. But I just think because of how advanced California is politically, science wise, fucking art wise, music wise, and educationally wise, that we set a template for the rest of the world. So everywhere else, even if I took my kids to New York, it would be like a downgrade in education.
Yeah.
Saying so, like
Yeah.
that's the one thing where
Well,
for me,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I've looked all over the country, right? And like, sure, like Phoenix might have a cheaper house, but their school system is actually shittier than OKC. Like, OKC has couple universities there. Like, it's a big small town. But like, when you look at the high schools in some of these areas, like, for my kids, like, that's the better choice than Vegas,
yeah,
or like, that's why,
yeah,
like, I have to go. Like, I've always, like, one thing about me, anybody could say anything that they want about me, but like, ever since I had kids, like, all the decisions I make in my life have been for them. Like, nobody can accuse me of anything else. Like, am I fucking perfect? No, but at the end of the day, like, the shit that I do and the moves that I've made, because I have moved a couple of times and all these things, like, have always had like their best interest, like, like, it's just who I am. Like, if anybody says anything else, I'm fucking gonna dive on them. Like, there's no way that someone can say that shit to me. Like,
Right.
So that's where I'm at. That's that.
Boom, boom. We're going to have a last hurrah to keep Estella. Watch, I'm going to find her a fly ass spot with some good school. Stonia, you're going to be all right. I got you. That's light work.
It sucks, but I get it.
Watch her in June be here just chilling more close to LA. You're going to be like, oh, I'm driving, take a drive. You know what I mean? Got this. We got this, man. Come on, man.
Well, there it is, guys. So I'm moving. I just don't know where yet, I guess.
We're gonna make sure. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna talk offline, figure out budget, schools, levels. It's a plan, you know what I'm saying? Trust me.
Yes.
You know? I don't help family members move across the country that had great fears about that same sort of stuff, and like, things paid off.
Yeah.
Charter schools, like fucking support systems, all that sort of shit. And keep in mind, I am an educator, so I might not act like it on the internet. I might be talking slang and posting wild ass memes and talking my shit. But my serious life, I'm very, very aware and considerate of parents and how they treat their kids and what they want to do and invest in their kids. So that's important. We all have like standards that we want for our next generation and shit. So,
right.
Yep.
The schooling is important for sure.
Sure the fuck is.
Stanford, but Oklahoma State ain't Stanford, baby. You feel me?
It's not. It's not. But at least, like, I wasn't gonna go to some buttfuck rural town that didn't have like education.
You don't want to go to
like. So that's that.
Nah, but OKC is like a decent city. Like I have a lot of friends out there from LA.
I don't know anybody there. But, that's why this is extra scary.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. You know what I mean? You get a lot of Trumpers, that's for sure.
That's the other piece. I'm like, ooh, my kids are brown as fuck too. Like, but I've heard it's kind of diverse, like, depending on where you live, I guess. But
you ever perform in Oklahoma, Lucho?
Fuck no. I've been like all over the country. I ain't never been to Oklahoma.
It has an X on it.
I have one time, and just because of my hue, that's one of them states I don't drive through.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
Yeah, it's definitely like if you just look up like some of the statues for some of the crimes in Oklahoma, it's crazy. Like how like crazy the policing is out there. And that's one of my biggest fears. Like when I move somewhere, it's like I could deal with LAPD because I've been around that shit my whole life. But like, when I lived in Washington, like, it was fucking hard to live in fucking Pullman. Like, you're a blackface. They only think it's like that Eugene shit. They only think you're an athlete. If you're not an athlete, you're not supposed to be here. Like, so it's very problematic. And just living in other parts of the country, it's crazy. Like
it is. It really is. Like people say what they want about California, and like we have our fucking problems, but like shit like there's the subtle difference right there that makes a huge fucking difference in our world, like it really does. And it's something that I consider too. Like
I would rather struggle here than live well and be scared somewhere else. That's always my thing, because like I have enough fear here, and then like if I go and create a more hyperactive feeling within myself somewhere else, then it's not even gonna be healthy for me to be living there, because it's like, all right, cool, I don't even have like a homie to pull up on if some shit happens or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of those kind of things I think of, because I'm a single parent too. Like I'm not, I'm like I take care of my kids. Like primarily it's me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they have moms, but like trust me. You know what I mean? It took me some things to get over here to do this type shit. Like, so with that being said, like those are my arms. Like those, like if my kids are gone, I'm fucking nubs. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think about all of that stuff too, just having two daughters, like, you know, and black daughters, like, where it's already like, oh, they have this stigma and shit. So if I were to move them somewhere, it would be abroad. I would move to Hawaii if anywhere. Like that would be the only place that I could see myself like raising my kids without like the extra racism, the extra marginalism. Like they can still be around a lot of nature, symmetry, very earthy, very peaceful. I could still be tapped in with them, and you know, like the surroundings aren't fucking conducive to harm and shit. Like people aren't playing these like weird race politics to me. That's just my feeling as far as moving, because we're just talking about moving and shit. So, you know, where
Yeah.
would you move, Sonia?
I've lived in Oregon and I've lived in Phoenix, but nothing compares to home. But also, I've heard from a lot of customers, a lot of my customers have left, like sold their houses here in California, went to another state, and then tried to come back. And they all say it's like the hardest thing. Like once you leave California, you can almost like not come back because it's like your lifestyle is so different and you get used to paying like not a lot.
Not a
Right.
lot.
And then you have to pay a lot. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's just what
I
I've heard.
did that. Like I paid less in Oregon and I moved back down here like 2.5 years later. And I was fucking homeless for 8 months. But like I got into a place, and thank God I did when I did, because then the pandemic hit.
Oh
And like,
yeah.
and I'm here and my rent is cheaper than what they're leasing out my apartments to like new people, right? Because I got it at a decent rate when I got it in. But they've raised my rent every year since then. It's gone up like $600, and like I got to tap out at some point too. Like I can't
Yeah.
I can't go into debt because I got to use my credit cards to buy groceries because I can't afford my rent. You know, like I can't do that. Like that's
You don't want to rob Peter.
I'd rather fucking tap out and like go live somewhere else where like I can afford to buy groceries and pay my rent and I don't have to choose between one or the other. Like
Right.
And say,
and like and save money and like buy a house and build equity. Like I think that's good for my kids more than
for sure.
fucking a dope ass climate, like, and
Right.
this is home and we have connections here and it's really fucking sad and it's really hard, but there's one thing I know about me, and I can fucking start from scratch and build. I've done it so many fucking times, and like I'm about to do it again, and like I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm always okay, like one way or the fucking other. And it's terrifying because at least this is the first time I'll be moving somewhere where I don't know anybody.
Right.
Like I won't know one fucking person. I will be in a completely different, like a culture shock, like weather shock, like geography shock, right? There's no fucking mountains there. That's weird to me. Like everything's gonna be right. They do.
Go
But
fishing.
everything's gonna be a shock to me. And I'm still gonna like I gotta be strong for my fucking kids, right? Like because ultimately like that's who I'm doing it for. Right. And I'm gonna go somewhere where I don't want to move again because my daughter's in high school now and my son's about to be in 8th grade. And like I'm not trying to move them a bunch of places in those years either, because that's not fucking good for them. But like I also know that with them I've had a strong enough like I actually talk to my kids, right? So like I'm not one of those people who don't talk to their kids. So like and because we've moved, like I'm not afraid of them not being able to build more connections or like have a shitty experience, like so shitty, like in high school and stuff. Like I know they'll talk to me and I know like I'll do whatever the fuck I have to do to make sure that they're okay. Like I don't know. But I have to do what I have to do, and that's just what it is. And I don't fucking love it, but I'm gonna try to make the fucking best out of it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That's just what I have to do.
Ouch. Yeah,
that's the reality. And on that though,
Have a good night. Yeah, we've been here for 3 hours talking all that.
Dang.
Talking that good shit.
A good conversation. We've held on to people. We didn't dip. And so, yeah. Thank you guys for being here. And we'll hopefully see you all next week.
Next Thursday, I will be in North Carolina, so I won't be here for that.
This bitch.
But we'll have our bitch guess what on Tuesday, so you guys.
Yeah, we will have that, and make sure everybody tunes in.
I better see you guys in the comments. You too.
I always be lurking. You don't know, but you never know what I'm on. I'm around, learning things.
All righty, people. Have a good fucking night.
Bye.